Good evening. Hello, hello. How are you all doing? How are you all doing on this fine, I want to say Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. I should actually know again which day it is since I'm back to work again. But being back at work actually finally scrambled my brain, so maybe that didn't work out that well. Hello, hello. How are you all doing on this Tuesday? As you can see, once again, I have new armor. I farmed the Biototus armor, and I got myself the— oh! Hey, Sleepy! A complete year full of adventure and fun. Spoiler, and there's no sign of stopping. Thank you for 12 full years of supporting my channel. Honestly, I appreciate it a lot. Like, seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And also thank you for hanging out yet again. It's G-rank time, And I mean, I guess technically 12 full years. I'm not sure if I will even still be streaming in 12 full years, but well, let's see, just years instead of months. Long time. As I have already mentioned today, my brain is low-key scrambled. But yeah, we are in Master Rank finally. We did kill the Biototus, we did farm the armor offline, and now it is time to blast through the rest of Master Rank. I'm just waiting a couple of more seconds until my new can of tea is finished. And then it's time for action. Why did I get the Pookie hammer, what some of you might ask? Because the jAgras hammer is good, don't get me wrong, but I did have good success with the Pookie hammer when I originally played through this game. It's a pretty good hammer just to have early on, because poison damage became a lot better in Master Rank, if I remember correctly. Yeah, poison. And while it is not a blast hammer, we are going to get a blast hammer in the post game. Like, seriously, once we are done with all of the main story, we are going to try to get the Raging Brachydios blast hammer, because that is pretty much the best for our hammer until we get the fataliZ hammer. So, what else is there? We do need to go into an expedition in the Hoarfrost Reach, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We've taken down the Biototus, and this time around it's time to take down the Bandaru. And apparently there's a third monster on the map that I don't know yet. Probably something like Viper Toby Kadachi or something, I can't remember. And it doesn't matter either, because Biototus— wait, no, Bandaru is the only thing we are going to go for. And yeah, I do think that the Pookie hammer is probably going to stick with us for the remainder of this game. Well, for the remainder of this playthrough until the final boss happens. Can't really think of another good hammer that we might be able to— well, I guess we could try to get the Acidic Glavenus hammer, but the Acidic Glavenus hammer does take a lot more support around it before it really works out for you. Also I think we can upgrade the Pookie hammer a lot sooner. Also, it's kind of a crime in my opinion that fucking Sunbreak didn't give me the beautiful flower design of the Pookie hammer pack. It was such a beautiful Master Rank hammer, and they decided to— nah, let's just remain with the hammer that has bits on top of it. Granted, Base World had that hammer as well, but you can't really argue with the— yeah, but they're just true to the original argument anymore, because mastering Pookie armor would be the bloody flower. Also, why is this taking so long to load? I guess because it's the first time we are loading it today. But yeah, at least I can enjoy the design here. Hello.
Route for the supply convoy.
Supply convoy, got it. Why am I moving so slow? Like, seriously, why am I moving so slow? Oh, there we go. Oh, because new parts of the map are getting unlocked. Beautiful. Yeah, at the very start you only have like 3 of the areas unlocked, and now I can actually get into the majority of the Hoarfrost Reach. I think the Velkhana nest is probably closed off until the actual Velkhana fight happens. I don't know if there will be any more upgrades to the map before that. Oh well, we'll see. I do kind of expect
I'll take
for
these vines
things—
down to the bottom.
oh, there we go. I guess we're following the handler.
I've actually gotten pretty good at climbing roots and rocks out here.
I mean, that's good for you, but you can also
Still
just
can't hold a
jumping.
candle to the tracker though.
There's
She's a free climbing pro.
there's no
It's
fall
amazing
damage
that
in
she
this
was the
world.
first one to ever scale the Great Ravine.
Could you stop talking and help me look for chilies? There we go. Hot peppers. That's what I'll need right now. Ah, so I'm looking forward to see how I'm going to deal with Banbaru this time around. When I had my last replay of this game, Banbaru decked me constantly. Like, seriously. Granted, I was still wearing high rank armor, and I was using a weapon that I was not really all that proficient with, but still he killed me like 8 times. How can he kill me 8 times? It is an expedition, therefore it does not really matter how many times I die.
Haven't seen any like these before.
Okay, good for you. Is it Banbaru? I don't really think that it is Banbaru, because Banbaru is probably... No, Banbaru is not shown on the map yet, so I guess it will just be the Banbaru tracks. Why are they so small, though? Because Banbaru is a giant thing, it should be way bigger. Pop off, there we go. Where do I need to go? I think this thing needs to break down for Banbaru to spawn, right? Something along those lines.
Whoa! A hot spring!
Handler, can you hurry it up? We do have stuff to do. Because things are going to take a little longer now that we've actually hit the master rank.
But I'd probably never want to get out.
Since a lot of things... Oh wait, is it a gold spring macaque? No, that's just a regular macaque. I mean, I could get a regular macaque as well. Yeah, none of these are gold springs. Oh well. I mean, I can get a couple more for my house. Pearl spring. And the special form is the gold spring macaque. So the thing that I wanted to say is, things are going to take a lot longer now, because things have a lot more HP in master rank. Oh, and we are in cutscene territory. Okay, it was over here. I'm pretty sure the stone wall is going to get removed at some point as well. You know what, since there's not going to happen any dialogue, we might as well just talk over it as well. One thing that I always find curious about Bite-Spawn... Oh, I guess there was dialogue after all, but let's be honest, does it matter to any of us?
What did this?
I think there's a lot of things that could have done this in this world. Pretty sure that even something like a great jAgras could rip down a couple of trees if it wanted to. And you know what, I'm going to sit down for now. I really like Banbaru. It's a very simple monster, but it can be quite challenging in the early game, just because of its size. That's always an interesting concept, because basically he has nothing but his size going for himself, but the size is enough. I mean, it is one of the main reasons why Devil Joe is as dangerous as he is, just because he big. There we go. I still don't quite understand how this thing is a brute wyvern and not a fanged beast, but categorization is something that I wonder about in Monster Hunter a lot. I also don't know why Paolumu is not a fanged beast.
It's not safe for the convoy with this thing around.
Is it not now? Well then let's get it out of the way, shall we? There we go. So, and you toppled over in the exact wrong direction. Since you are a brute, I kind of doubt you were giving me the time to really do big damage here. Ah, you know what, I actually can do at least do a little damage. That's good then. So, one more thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, because we are at the beginning of Master Rank now, and that's good. We love being here. But there is a weird conundrum for me that I would like to refer to as Schrödinger's Monster Hunter Veteran. Because for Schrödinger's Monster Hunter Veteran, modern hunts go way too fast, while at the same time, Master Rank in Iceborne, everything takes way too long. That's what Schrödinger's Monster Hunter Veteran is for me. Because they can simultaneously complain about how every hunt is way too fast, and how every hunt takes way too long in Iceborne. That's such a weird thing to me. It's like, oh my god, it forces us to use the clutch coin. Because even if the Iceborne hunts take long, and yes, you can definitely feel how much more health everything in Iceborne has compared to Base World. Like seriously, it does not even compare. You can really feel it. But it will still be a lot faster than any hunt in the old game Master Rank. And that was so confusing to me personally. Like, do you think the hands are too long or do you think the hands are too short? It can only be one of the two. It can't be both at the same time. But yeah, Monster Hunter veterans are a weird little conundrum to me sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I do like that the people that enjoyed the franchise for so long. And I'm not even going about anyone. If you're just literally enjoying the old games more than the new ones, that's fine, that's fine. Honestly, that's your right. Nobody can force you to enjoy something that you don't, but it's just such a weird argument. Oh god. Sometimes they just bring such weird arguments. And round number 2. And the smackdown. There we go. Oh, alright. You do have Tremor. Gotcha. Okay, we do have to deal with Tremor again. Ow. I also have to say I have not yet unlocked stuff like the temporary mantle and the rocksteady mantle, so that will make things a lot more interesting as well. I do think I need a lot more master rank for both those mantles. But I did adjust my wheel finally, so that's a good thing. I personally, technically I started with the OG game, but since World is the game that actually really got me into the franchise, I do like to refer to myself as a new World player. Weirdly enough, I do appreciate OG Monster Hunter a lot more than most of the veterans do, because most people that played the old games go like, oh no, OG Monster Hunter was cancer, absolutely horrid. And they would be right, OG Monster Hunter was a monstrosity, but it is also what started the series, and I can appreciate it for that, and I only played it last year, so my opinions are not even all that recolored by nostalgia. And believe you me, OG Monster Hunter did some weird things, like literally some strange fucked up decisions. Like for example the fact that you could not... oh god. Can I? Nope, okay, you are angry already. Like for example, my favorite example of a weird fucked up thing that OG Monster Hunter did was the fact that you could not just turn your camera with the right stick. No, you could not do that. When back then analog gaming wasn't new anymore, so I really do not understand what led to the decision, but the right stick was actually used for your attack input. You had one attack input for forward, one backward, and one to the side. So you basically had 3 attacks. Some weapons did have other attack inputs as well. Like Hammer did have the charge mechanic back then as well. But I don't know, I don't even know how you get the idea to use the stick for attack movement like that. Such a weird idea. Like, it made sense in something like Ape Escape, for example, for the PlayStation 1, where you use the right stick to swing your net around, because the stick literally corresponds to the direction of the net. But that's not really the case in base Monster Hunter. No. Hey, there we go. So yeah, what could have come from it? And so how did you control the camera then, is what I hear you asking. Well, that's quite simple, The only way you had of adjusting the camera, and some of you might think that it was going to be something like, you could probably turn it left and right with the shoulder keys. Oh no, you could turn it with one shoulder key, but you could not just rotate it. No. The OG camera was only capable of adjusting the direction into the direction that either a marked monster is facing, or, well, is at, or straight ahead. Like straight ahead from the position of your hunter. I mean, I guess technically it could still do that. It could still be used like that this day. But this is the only way you were able to adjust your camera in the old school the PlayStation 2 Monster Hunter, as long as you didn't have a large monster mark. And considering how many quests you had, where you had to farm small monsters and stuff like that, that's quite an ordeal, let's just put it like that. OG Monster Hunter also had a couple of weird these other designs. Like, there were no such thing as weapon or armor skills back then. I honestly don't even remember if OG Monster Hunter even had shit like elemental damage and status effects. It's been a while, so I've no idea. It probably had elemental damage, maybe, but I would not be sure about it. Because another thing that it didn't have back then was fucking knockout damage. Yeah, you could not cut a tail with the hammer, but you could also not knock anything out with it. The hammer was basically low-key, I don't know, it pretty much only had downside. I still played the hammer in the OG game just because I am a hammer main and I will always pick the hammer in Monster Hunter. But yeah. It was a weird little conundrum game. Oh. But I could still have fun with it, and while a lot of veterans are like, okay, OG Monster Hunter is its very own game, then everything that happened from Generation 2 to Generation 4 is its very own game, and then World is an very own game as well as Sunbreak, or rather Rise is also something that basically has nothing to do with the rest of the franchise. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can clearly see this being the same franchise from Gen 1 onwards. Sure, not everything will be as similar to one another as Gen 2 to 4, but have you considered the fact that Gen 2 to 4 basically changed nothing? They changed the gimmick, that's the only thing Gen 2 to 4 ever changed. Like Gen 2 didn't really change any gimmicks. Granted, because the Gen 2 didn't really have many gimmicks to work with, since it basically had all its hands full with fixing what Gen 1 did. Then, when Gen 3 came around, they tried to add underwater combat. We all know how that went. Underwater combat was shit, most people hated it. Some people are nostalgic for it and desperately want it to come back, and to those people I say, fuck no, are you crazy? Why would you ever want this atrocity to return to the realms of men? No, believe you me, I don't like underwater combat at the best of days, granted, but underwater combat in Gen 3 was so bad that it actually made me rage quit the game before I even reached high rank. That's how obnoxious it was. Because the camera controls were bad back then as well. You do have to imagine that these games were developed with portable consoles in mind. And the fucking 3DS didn't have a right thumbstick. So controlling the camera was still a fucking pain in the arse. Not as much as it was in Gen 1, but it was far from good. Hey, there we go. About the spike. Then Gen 4 did have two versions of gimmicks, depending on if you're going for 4U or GU. Like with 4U, the gimmicks that they did was mostly mounted combat, because mounted combat in more 3D environments were the thing that they added. And some people, myself included, would argue that Gen 4, for that very reason, is pretty much free of gimmicks. Because think about it, mounted combat, or rather mounting monsters in the middle of combat, is it really all that much of a gimmick? I mean, for some people it actually is a gimmick. There are some puritarians that do consider Gen 2 the last time when Monster Hunter didn't have any gimmicks lying around. But I don't know, in my... Oh, I think... Okay, that's not going to work out for me. But yeah, and then just came GU around the block, and GU added a shit ton of gimmicks. Well, I guess that you could argue that didn't really have all that many gimmicks either. Depends on how you look at it. GU added the hunting styles to the game. Mounted combat, I think the reason why I don't really see mounted combat as a gimmick is because mounted combat was not really a one-off kind of deal. Mounted combat didn't really just appear out of nowhere and then vanish back into the void as soon as its generation was over. No, mounting monsters became a mainstay of the series. Riding monsters, like you do in Rise here, that's probably just a gimmick and will probably disappear with this generation. And I will be quite honest with you, I would like to go back to older versions of mounting monsters, and I would actually rather go back to the generation's ultimate version of mounting monsters, because in my opinion the generation's ultimate version of mounting a monster was probably the best version mounting combat ever had. What's so special about the generation's ultimate version? Well, that's simple. Well, it basically feels like the 4U version for the most part, with the significant difference that when someone else attacks the monster while you're on it, it does not make it worse, it actually helps the mounting process to get along. While in 4U, you actually have those weird little interrupts where nobody's allowed to hit the monster while you are trying to knock it over while you're on it, because that's just how it worked in 4U. Or was it just Phase 4 and they changed it for 4U? I'm not 100% certain, so maybe look it up if you're really all that curious about it. Because it definitely was in 4, but now I'm not 100% sure anymore if it was in 4U, because I mostly played 4U solo and didn't really get any chances to play it multiplayer ever. I was lucky enough to have someone to play GU with. And that's one of the main reasons why the old games will always be worse than the new games. The fact that there's an entire rank, the entirety of G rank, or Master rank as we call it these days, that you literally can't experience without the handicap if you're soloing it. And granted, Monster Hunter was intended as a multiplayer experience. I get that. Believe you me, I do get that. The problem is, the big problem is, the fact that you can't always do multiplayer. Like seriously, maybe you don't know other people that play Monster Hunter like a lot of us. Maybe you just know, maybe they shut down the servers. That's the problem that FreeU is facing, that you literally can't play FreeU with other people anymore. And is it possible to solo G rank as well? Of course it is, of course it is. I mean, Kuro and I managed to get through GU with just 2 people, even though it was scaled for 4 people. It's definitely possible, but it won't be nice, it won't be easy, and it probably won't be fun as well, because it will just be way more grindier. It will probably take 30 to 40 minutes per hunt. You will have to grind up so many more healing items. You will have to fight monsters that have an aggression level that was intended to take on 4 people at once. Like seriously, let's be honest, the aggression stuff and stuff like that doesn't really change all that much in the new games either. But they at least scale down the health, and since you can just restock healing items if you ever run out of them, you're not as handicapped if you're going in solo. And you especially don't have those problems where when you're a gunner that already has to carry a shit ton of extra ammunition with you, that you only have so much inventory space. Okay, let's return from our little expedition. We have taken down the barn barrow. I didn't really pay much attention to the hunt, but let's be honest, it's a barn barrow. So as long as I have semi-decent equipment and a weapon that I'm okay with, it is not going to take me on. The problem last time around was it was learning the longsword. And And granted, the longsword is the most overpowered weapon, but you do have to understand that if you can't play it, it does not matter how strong a weapon is, okay? And I don't know, it took forever until the longsword clicked in my head. So yeah. I personally would kind of like to see a Monster Hunter. Oh, okay, let's wait for the cutscene to be over.
Oh, bring that over there. Good. Opacity vite. Be careful.
Is she French?
Over there. Okay.
I never noticed that she's French. Why is there a French girl in this Monster Hunter America?
Sir, it's going well.
Hey!
Hey, heard you took care of some rough work out there. How'd everything go?
Splendid, as usual. Now we can begin our investigation.
Immigration, yeah, probably.
Just think, this freezing cold place was waiting out here for us all this time.
She wanted a better
Who
life
knows
in
what
the
secrets
whole
this
new
land has in
world.
store for us. Whether we like it or not, we're going to find out.
Right.
I do have to say,
Well
that's
then,
okay.
I'm
That's something
heading
that
back to Esther.
always pisses me off in
Seriously?
series or films.
Someone needs to stay and look
I will
over
come back to
Esther.
this in a moment.
So I was thinking, this time, you can take the lead.
It's a little too cold for my old bones here, so better for you, youngster. I mean, just look at
Come
you.
on. It's
You're
not
hot
for me.
enough to have an open
long as you're
chest
here,
while it's
everything will be fine,
freezing
right?
outside.
Besides, ordering someone to be a commander doesn't make them one.
Maybe so. But this place needs a strong leader to guide it. They'll need you here to guide them.
Yes, sir.
We'll need you too.
There we go. I really want a helmet that does not have my face covered again. He just wants him to get a cold.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
field
let's get
team
started.
leaders being on
We've got
sick
a full
leave
house
pretty
here in
soon.
Celiana now, and our Legiana investigation has gone into full swing.
Okay, so to finish the point that I wanted to make before, I hate it in series whenever there is a character from a very small village and or family, and for God knows which reason, everyone in the family is speaking in a different accent, because that just doesn't make fucking sense. And one of the series that I watched that I actually enjoyed, but where this pissed me off to no avail, was Hilda, because Hilda is a series on Netflix, and it starts with the little girl living with her mother out in the woods. She basically has no human contact other than her mother. But for God knows which reason, she has a very different accent to her mother. It's like, this is the woman that taught you how to speak. This is the only interaction with any other person of your entire species. Why the fuck do you have a different accent to her? An accent is not something that gets passed down with the genes. So you can't have it from your father. It's definitely the mother that gave it to you. Only that she doesn't have it. Anymore, at least. Okay, let's continue on.
So, before we get ahead of ourselves, how about we hear from our newest members? First up, provisions. Our new deputy here will take care of the stockpile in Celiana.
Oh god, he looks so depressed. He's probably going through a rough divorce right now.
Whatever you need, I got it by the pile.
Ah yes, he's really trying to throw himself into his work just to forget his trouble at home. I can see it in his cold dead eyes.
And for all your melding needs, Graham here's got you covered.
Swing by any time to see what's stirring. Hacha.
Poor old grandma, she wants visitors and customers because her own family is never visiting her anymore.
Next, the captain's best sailor here will be managing shipment requests for the Argosy and harvest requests for botanical research.
You come see me anytime.
Okay. What, you thought I would have anything negative to say about him? Do you really think I would just make up a tragic backstory for this handsome young stud over there? Just for the sake of comedy? Do you really think I'm such a heartless monster? No, shame on you, shame on you. You think about what you done. You think about what you just did.
And last but not least, our chef. We got the best of the best for our canteen in Celiana.
No, I love her.
As some of you may know, she's the Astera chef's former mentor, and she's come out of retirement to help us out.
Look into his eyes and tell me he's not gotten through some shit. Maybe, but it's very hard for me to look into the grey Meowth's eyes. My special gratin stew will keep your bellies full and bodies warm, and you better eat it all. Speaking of dead eyes, everyone in Pokemon Gen 9 has dead eyes. Like, seriously, every single character. Everyone looks as soulless as the Pokemon franchise at this point, which, to be honest, is quite refreshingly honest of the game.
I'll take charge of the resource center as usual.
You can still count on me for all your hunter gear. And what do you know? The chief's made it out here too.
Don't look so surprised. You know that I'd go anywhere in the noble pursuit of knowledge.
This man literally is not capable of lifting his head up anymore. This is pretty much how he's stuck now. His hunchback has gotten so bad that he can't raise his head any higher.
And finally, there's me. I'll be keeping everyone safe and sound. You can all relax while I'm on watch. Well, now that the niceties are out of the way, back to our objective. We've got to figure out why the Legiana have migrated here. And to do that, we've got to find those Legiana. First, I'd like the field team to conduct an expedition into what we're now calling the Hoarfrost Reach. You might find a clue about the Legiana crossing by following any tracks that they may have left out there. But don't forget that this is still uncharted territory. Don't let me catch you being reckless out there.
What, me? The guy that beat this game twice already? Being reckless out there? Never.
Yes, sir. We'll get started on the expedition right away.
I'll be going too. There's quite a lot I need to see for myself out there.
All right then. Just don't skimp on sending me regular status updates. I guess that about wraps things up then. Well, let's get to it, I guess.
A little more confidence in your voice, Mr. Field Team Leader. Alright, so...
Let's head out to the Hoarfrost Reach and try to pick up those Legiana's trail.
Okay, so what's going to be the next one? I'm pretty sure the next monster is going to be Viper Toby Kadachi for sticking to the Hoarfrost Reach. So, yes, the new machine. Can we already use it? I mean, I don't really care about using it right now, I guess. We do need to get some coal for it firsthand. I do like that they actually use some monster parts to build the machine as well. So basically, they use monster parts for everything in this world. Which I guess is pretty resourceful. I guess you would do the same thing. Ooh, by the way, speaking of being pretty resourceful, have any of you read the manga Dungeon Meshi? It's a manga that I'm currently reading. Yeah, we do know how the Steam works. Yeah? Dungeon Meshi is quite interesting, because Dungeon Meshi has a little bit of a dungeon crawling, so like Dungeons & Dragons inspiration, and it does have a couple of parallels to stuff like Goblin Slayer in the world, in the sense that it really thinks about the world. It's not as gruesome and cruel as Goblin Slayers, so it's more of an uplifting, positive story, and there are some serious plot moments, but it's not really all that serious. Like, it's probably tamer than most average shonen manga. So, we finally have the jAgras here.
I believe in you.
Butterverse, alright. So yeah, I can really recommend it. It's kind of fun.
By the way,
Oh, and the special thing about the manga is that people are kind of murdering their way through the dungeon, and because they ran out of money, they are forced to start to learn how to cook and prepare monsters in the dungeon. Meshi, nope, did not read it. Okay. I'm reading it right now. I think I'm like 30 chapters in, something like that. It's pretty fun so far. Like, seriously, it's been a while since I read a manga, because at some point I just reached the point of my life where most mangas don't really offer me anything new anymore, which is kind of sad. Because a lot of mangas are treading the same old tropes over and over again. And there are some new ones here and there, like for example, one that we both read, Sleepy, the Valkyrie no... wait. Shumatsu no Valkyrie. The manga about Ragnarok. It's a cruel manga, and that's probably the only manga that I've read for a long time by now. Another manga that I would technically still be reading would be Hunter x Hunter, but the problem is Hunter x Hunter has been in a hiatus for like 2 or 3 years at this point. I know it's because the mangaka has health problems, and it's a shame, because Hunter x Hunter is, in my opinion, the best shonen manga ever made. And I would love to see where the story goes. I don't mind if Hunter x Hunter never gets finished, because Hunter x Hunter is not really about one big narrative, it just goes on through the world. I would love to see the current arc getting finished, but I honestly kind of doubt that we're ever going to see the real end of Hunter x Hunter if it hasn't gotten any updates for like 2 to 3 years right now. It's always a shame when something like that happens. I think a lot of people were probably in a similar boat when it came to Berserk. I personally have never read Berserk. I don't know if I should try to get into it these days, but a lot of people really loved Berserk, and probably for similar reasons than they did with Hunter x Hunter, than I do with Hunter x Hunter. Even though I can say that objectively Berserk has a better art style. Hunter x Hunter's style is very simplistic. It gets the job done, but Berserk definitely has way more attention to detail. The last one I did read was about the student which got reincarnated, but it was the last one. There was another person which had nearly the same name, so the main car got nothing. He got reincarnated yet another time while he got cursed by the same god. Okay. Don't think that I know that one. Also, I need some hot peppers. But since you mentioned reincarnation, that's what's the genre called again? Isekai. Isekais have really exploded over the last couple of years. Like, Jesus Christ. I think these, what used to be a niche genre at some point, is basically the manga and anime genre right now. I'll send it to you. Thank you. I don't quite understand how that happened, but there are so many isekai right now. And I think it's also there's another thing when it's the female protagonist. And all of them follow the same naming conventions of having a very weird name that's basically just a sentence like, that time I got reincarnated as a slime when I reached max level by grinding starting mobs. And names like that. I don't know why. Oh.
Alright, I should get moving.
Okay, good for you then. Goodbye, old lady.
I'm heading this way. See you around.
Did you just randomly choose a wall to walk towards to?
Let's find those Legiana tracks, Pard.
Alright, let's go. Oh, I forgot to take a look at the Bambaro armor, because I can definitely see the Bambaro armor having some useful skills for me. Although I'm kind of reluctant to only switch up a couple of skills on this set of armor. Mostly because I do have earplugs here. I do have earplugs on this set. And earplugs are only a useful skill as long as you don't if you have them at max level. Like earplugs level 1 to 4 is basically a useless skill. You have to get the people on the first site, and besides the picture, the first thing they read is the title. I mean, I guess that's probably going to be the reason why it is like that, but at some point, if all the manga and anime are called something like that, it just becomes awkward, in my opinion. At first it was a novel idea and fun, but now it's just awkward. And it feels like you didn't really have any ideas for a good title, in my opinion. Oh well, maybe it's just me. Maybe that's just me. I've never quite understood these spikes here, because they feel like something that should trouble you in some form, but they are just there. Oh well. So, is it actually wipe, or is it something like barrier maybe that happens to jAgras now? Oh well, we'll see.
Wow, it really opens up here.
Or maybe we're literally just walking around the Hoarfrost Reach for now.
Let's go have a look.
Ah, it's such a beautiful map. I think the one thing that I dislike about the Hoarfrost Reach is that it's kind of monotonous. Yes, of course, it is an ice area, but most areas in Monster Hunter do have a little more variety than just ice area or just desert area. Like, for example, I mean, the Coral Highlands and the Rotten Whale are probably a little at fault, especially the Coral Highlands, because the Coral Highland does have elements of the Rotten Whale as well, but those are basically all in non-combat zones, so except for when you really go exploring, you're not going to see those. Hello. How rare. One does not get many visitors. You are friends of the Yon Star? You seek something? I see. It is not here. Search below. They know its scent. Follow them. Are we
Thank
going
you
to follow
so
the Boa
much.
Boa?
But where exactly is below?
I would say below us, Handler. The name kind of
The
tells us all
scoutflies
we
are
need to
headed down
know.
into that cavern.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Viper Tobi Kadachi, because I do remember Barrier attacking you out in the open. Kind of regret not bringing antidotes with me then. Am I going to grab some antidotes real quick? Also, I do think that we can unlock a camp somewhere around here, right? No, this thing here leads to the Frostfang barrier area.
What do you suppose the tracker is looking into?
No idea, don't care.
It seemed like she had her own reasons for coming out here.
And the answer is...
Maybe she somehow already knew the hinterlands existed.
Did she know? Come on now, Handler, I don't have all day. There we go. Ah, I think it was possible to...
Look who it is.
Huh?
Okay, guess you're here again.
Funny that you two would end up here.
Yeah. We found some tracks and followed the scout flies.
Oh. If that's the case, then we're both heading the same way.
Then why did we split up in the first place?
You sure about that? I mean, other than that opening, I can't find any other place to go.
I'd like to have a look, but...
Ah yeah, okay, it was Viper Tobi Kadachi after all. So, the fact that it moves so slow is kind of creepy. Okay, so okay, we don't have antidotes, that's bad.
Guess it'll have to wait.
She looks so casual about the situation.
Always ready. You with me.
Okay.
Well then, big guy. One of the things that I really loved about World and Iceborne is the fluidity of the transitions from cutscene to actual gameplay. Okay, so I do need a couple of antidote herbs, thank you very much. And there are some more over there, so let me grab those as well real quick. And then we can actually fight. There we go. So, what are you going to do, huh? What are you going to do about me? I do remember Viper being a little bit of an obnoxious bitch, because he is noxious as fuck. There we go. Oh, was it just... Oh yeah, okay, he was first regular poison, and now we are on actual noxious poison. And it has eaten through all of my vitality mantle already. It's so awkward when you put on mantles while having a helmet that would clearly stick out. Okay, maybe he's only doing regular poison until he applies another hit of poison, then it's noxious poison. I will be honest with you, Viper Tobi Kadachi is probably one of the monsters that I fought the least in this game. Just because I don't think Viper Tobi Kadachi could happen in the Guiding Land. So you basically fought him once during the playthrough and then never again. Which is a shame, because he was interesting enough. And there they are, the wolves. That's something that I really miss in Rise as well. The endemic life really doesn't do anything as long as a large monster is here. In World, it does work kind of natural in my opinion. Like, for most of the time they are going to stick, well, not stick your head, okay, okay, try again. For most parts they're not trying to get involved in the fight, but if either you or the monster are going to show weakness, they are going to attack and trying to get a bite out of either of you. They're not aligned with any of you, they just want a quick and easy meal. Ow. Okay, no, he can definitely apply noxious poison with a single hit as well. God, I wish I had medical herbs with me, because that would be a lot faster. So, Oh, and wait, is he ammo paralyzed? No, not quite yet. Ah, okay, that's the chance. That's an opening. Oh, and I've missed my opening. Okay, that's... You're obnoxious. You know that? You are quite obnoxious with your noxious poison. You know what? I'm not going to heal up any further. This will be fine. I want to land a couple of hits. We do have to land a couple of hits before we've earned ourselves some more healing. And can I reset this still? No, I can't. What are you doing over there? Appa! Okay, so most of you is wounded right now. And okay, now I need to get rid of the poison. Okay, that's bad. That's actually bad. And there we go. Okay, at least that gives me a chance to take some antidotes with me. I think I'm on an expedition right now, so I don't think... Yeah, it is an expedition, so the deaths actually don't really matter. But I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Believe it or not, I actually do not want to die. Neither in-game nor in this mortal life. There we go. Okay, God, I have no memory of where the campsites were on this map. Oh God, my damn. Okay, and we do need a hot drink as well. I've only just noticed. For how long have we been out of hot drinks? I'm really happy that we got rid of that system. Because in my honest opinion, stuff like hot drinks and cold drinks don't really add much to the hunting experience. Like, if you want to simulate extreme climate, there are definitely better ways to do them other than a drink that you need to retake every 10 minutes. Like, seriously, that's probably the laziest way to go about it. If they remove the drinks and gave you stuff like, I don't know, like for example, you need to return to shaded areas every now and then. Oh, Fulgurant enough, hello there. Or that they added some heat and cold resistance values to just basically every kind of equipment. Like, that you literally have to craft armor for hot and or cold areas. That would make it interesting. So I think you're going to lose the turf war, because I'm pretty sure the turf war between you and base Antonov is not going to work out all that well for you. There we go. That's one of the reasons why Antonov does look quite imposing to new players at the start, because it kind of gets presented by the game as something without equal for the longest time. Because it defeats the jAgras in a 1v1, it defeats Kulaku in a 1v1, and it defeats Hobika Adachi in a 1v1. The only thing in the entire ancient forest that can take it head on are Rafian and Raphalos. That's where it just loses, but neither of them the game shows to you until you already defeated Antonov, I think. So, and apparently there's a couple of cats over to the side, so maybe I want to visit them. Hello? Are you the Boa Boa tribe? No, you're a couple of Mealingses or something like that. How did the quest for the Boa Boa tribe go again? A good question, because I definitely want to get this question done at some point. I do remember liking the Boa Boa quest, because it was quite interesting, because you basically had to hunt with them. And you first have to kill a Popo, just so that the actual Biotodos that they're trying to target is getting drawn out by the bait. And it's an interesting way of hunting. It's kind of like, I don't know, an Inuit that tries to kill a seal and then uses the seal as bait for a polar bear. That's probably the best example. I don't know if Inuit actually do that. And in fact, I kind of doubt it, because a polar bear is probably one of the worst things you could have to go up against. But on paper, it is similar. Okay, I see stalactite. Also, I see someone who's not enraged right now and can easily be wallbanged. There we go. You kill me, I break your face. That's the deal. I just love how vicious the Woog are, because they probably embody the best version of endemic life for me. In their nature of just either attacking the monster or you with all their might. And they even have different ways of going for both you or the monster, which was nice. For the monster it's just straight up damage, and for you it's mostly CC. I think I can Nope, I can't jump over from here. Not high enough, apparently. Oh god. Anything interesting here? Hey, it's sharp. Ow. Don't like that. Ah, but my mantle is back. I only just noticed. I will need new ammunition. Do you mind coming over here, Viper? Because I would really appreciate it if you came over here. That's one quick jump. Come on, come on. You can do it. We both know you can do it, Viper. There are 2 stalactites here. I'm fine with either of them. Don't need... Ow, okay, fair enough. Okay, you know what? You have more range than I gave you credit for. Oh, okay, so much for that. I mean, I didn't even hit the stalactite, so it doesn't matter anyway, but goddamn. Ba-ba-ba. Okay, you know what? We're not going fancy anymore. We are just going to hit the thing now. Should be quite easy to do enough mounting damage to it for a mount, shouldn't it? There we go. The first one's always easy, and the second one is not all that bad here either, just because you can't do it everywhere unlike in Rise. In Rise, I'm kind of oh god, I only just noticed that I'm still poisoned this entire time. When did you poison me, fucker? Because in Rise, it doesn't really get you anything specifically going for mounting damage, because the main monster, the first mount, will get rather quick and then you're just on a 10-minute cooldown. It's like, what even is the point for specifically going for mounting damage? It will just happen either way and then it will be done for a while. One thing that I really wish I would have is more blue sharpness, but we work with what we were given. Don't think that I could get a full Big Bang combo out anymore, but this is the next best thing. I'm a little tired right now. It's probably because I ate dinner right before I started streaming. Just so I wouldn't get hungry in the middle of stream, but now I'm a little tired because I am digesting food, so I don't think I can really win in this scenario. Hey, goes Damadamash. Are you trying to get out? No. Oh. Okay, and I'm poisoned again. I'm starting to see how you got me the last time round. Are you trying to get out of here? Oh, you're no longer angry, that's good. And you are wall bangable though. There you go. I personally prefer Viper Toby Kadachi's design over Viper Toby Kadachi's. Not necessarily because I don't like Viper's colors, it's probably just because I've seen regular Toby first. But honestly, he's another one of those good examples of how to improve a monster with a subspecies. Because don't get me wrong, regular Toby was decently challenging, but adding noxious poison on a monster with paralysis is just evil. If he ever gets both status conditions on at once, then you're just fucked. Then you're literally just fucked. Where does this lead to? Okay, it's up there again. Does it lead me to a new campsite? I kind of doubt it. Ah, god damn it. I wish I remembered where the campsites were on this map, but this is the map that I spent the least time on. All the other maps I was on for hundreds of hours. Of course I knew the camp, but here, not so much. Ooh, do we have rare fishy fishies? Is anything here a rare fishy fishy? I do remember that they gave the Piscine researcher a line about how dishonorable it is to use your net to fish things like this way. But it's like, I mean, if it works, why wouldn't I? It's so much faster, boy. Hello. Oh, are we in his nest? No, that's not his nest yet. I guess it does have this little area here as a little bit of a change of pace. Oh god. Okay, yeah. Oh, stand right there. Okay, you did not stay right there. Oh, you jumped back in? No, oh, did you? Nope, okay, you are not asleep right now. That's a shame, that's a shame. This area kind of reminds me of the Rotten Whale. I don't think it's supposed to, but it's kind of hard to go for acid pools and not remind me of the Rotten Whale. I mean, this is not even an acid pool, but it looks like one. It definitely looks more like one than the thing in the Rotten Whale does, is my point. Let's see how you like getting poisoned, Viper Toby. Ow. Okay, that's bad. That's bad again. Heal up, and then, you know what? Max potion up. He can get you pretty good if you're not careful. That's the thing about Viper that I really appreciate. I mean, I do like most subspecies. A lot of people dislike Nightshade Paolumu, but I do consider Nightshade Paolumu to be among the good subspecies. Because the idea of him using his movement of air to just move around sleeping gas is ingenious in my opinion. It's so cool and beautiful, and he's asleep. Great. That is good, that is good. So now that you're asleep, are we going to go for a wake up hit or another wall bang? Honestly, I think another wall bang will be fine. And a 1, and a 2, and that should be enough. Nope, you... Oh wait, no, it is enough. For a second I was worried that you might just run straight down the middle, but no. You swirled a little off to the side, and I do appreciate that about you. There we go. I still remain of the opinion, if they bring the Clutch Claw back as a hammer specific part of the moveset, I don't think most people would mind. Clutch Claw does still feel quite natural to use when you're playing hammer, in my opinion. It would also give the hammer some more support capabilities, not just by knocking monsters out, but also by generating weak spots. And it would be quite interesting in my opinion. Like, I really like the idea of generating weak spots on a monster. I think a lot of you probably know this about me by now. Like, for example... Oh, no, that's the wrong thing, that's the wrong thing. Could you finally get rid of the bloody poison here? And what are these bulbs again? I think those bulbs are not good for me. No, Go on the mantle and heal even more. I was wondering why he's here and not in the Rotten Whale. Honestly, it's a good question. He really doesn't look like he fits here, does he? Like, seriously. He doesn't really fit the color scheme. He does a lot of poison stuff, which seems more like on point with the Rotten Whale theme, and would probably make him even stronger, considering that you do have the Toxic Miasma in the Rotten Whale as well. So, I haven't added a wound to you. He does not have an ice weakness. Oh my god, really? I forgot about that. And I'm out of antidote, which is bad. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, it just makes very little sense why he's here then. Probably because if he wasn't here, we would have even fewer quests where we could actually enjoy the Hoarfrost region. But yeah, if he has an ice weakness, he literally has no business in an ice area. Oh. And there he goes. So, how do I get rid of that bloody poison? Are there some antidote herbs around here somewhere? And that's the thing I do have to say though, he does have his little nest here, and Jesus Christ, fighting him in this nest is annoying as fuck. There are so many Vespoids trying to paralyze you, and those little shrooms on the floor trying to poison you. It's a nightmare fighting in there. We are going to do it, we are going to fight him in there, but the first time around that I fought him in here, I hated my life. That's the only way of putting it. Let's see how aggressive the Vespoid is. Did we hit the Vespoid? I think we might have stunned the Vespoid by knocking him into that wall over there. I did, by the way, find out that a very efficient way to actually grind Vespoids, if you need to carve them, is actually just farming them by fighting an Uragan. Because whenever Uragan rolls over the Vespoid, for God knows what reasons, it does kill them, but it does not destroy their corpses. Or of course, you could just use poison gas bombs, you could do it like that, but I like my idea. My way of using them is cooler. And there is the poison. Not even getting poisoned by the Viper anymore, we are just getting poisoned by the fucking flower. Ow, ow, ow. I mean, what's it gonna do to me now? I'm already poisoned. I'm already noxious poisoned. There's nothing you can do to me that you have not already done to me. Also, you are a little weakened right now. Opa. Can I knock you over again? Unlikely again. Ow, 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 ow. I am running out of healing at an alarming rate. And I would like to hit you right now. Believe you me, I would. But I don't think I have much of an opportunity here. Because now I need to heal up with regular small potions. And healing against fucking noxious poison with regular potions does not sound like a good time. Maybe he has a bet with normal Toby. Maybe, maybe. Okay, come on, come on. Just drop that before I get finished by the noxious poison, okay? Okay, you know what? We are using another max potion. Because this is taking way too long. Hey, there we go. We actually took him out before he took us out. That's good. Could I have just filled up my items? Yes, but you know me. That's against my pride. Get your wings out of my victory screen, Vespoid. I was lucky that the Vespoid didn't really do much this time round. But I swear to God, the last time I fought him here, the Vespoids were so aggressive. And because Longsword has God knows how much reach, I triggered way too many of those poison bolts. But yeah, I am quite happy if this fight did not turn out too painful. Regular old Toby. I think one of the things... I think I did appreciate Viper Tobi-Kadachi a little less after fighting regular Tobi-Kadachi in Mastering, because I noticed that their moveset basically is identical. The only difference is that Viper sometimes also throws Noxus poison on you. But I still think it's a good idea for a subspecies. I mean, both its effects synergize a lot better than, let's say for example, Purple Royal Ludroth. With Purple Royal Ludroth, being wet and being poisoned does not really synergize well. Yes, it's annoying that now I have 2 debuffs on me, but yeah. Oh god, and here comes the bloody backstory of the handler. Hey, it's the symbol! And back with the Xenojiva crystals.
Take a look at this shard. Never seen anything like it.
How have you never seen anything like it? Literally the Xenojiva crystals are looking very similar to this Volcana scale.
It was long before the first fleet was dispatched. There was an explorer searching for the new world. I hoped our paths would cross again. Let's see. Monsters displaying disturbing behavior. Song.
Song?
I found a shard. I'm not sure how it was created. I need to check.
Why would you wonder how the shard was created?
Sorry, but I can't read the rest.
Like seriously, my first assumption would be okay, I guess it was just, I don't know, molded in the crust of the earth like most minerals, if I assumed it was a mineral.
Yo!
Oh, what are you doing here?
Whoa, look at this old relic.
Can you focus on your job, please?
Sorry.
Astera is calling back its hunters. We need to return ASAP.
What?
So dramatic.
My grandfather's. I think they're the same.
Wait.
I fucking hate the Handler's backstory so much.
I thought I was getting closer to the truth.
Then we'll get there together.
Like seriously, her grandfather's her backstory, the entire grandfather plot goes fucking nowhere.
But
kid, you either come with me or go home. Don't second guess yourself. There's no time.
Hey, don't worry. I can fill in for you and help while you're gone.
You can fill in for much longer if you want. I mean, I can easily open up her position if you want
An
to.
offer from the best handler in Astera? You'd be crazy to refuse.
Yes, you would be crazy to refuse the handler trade. I agree with the A-lister.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have a partner.
Fine.
You can keep her.
Okay,
You can keep her. Like, even if the A-lister takes his handler back, you can still keep her, Tracker.
This won't be for nothing. Partner, take care.
Yeah, you don't have to take care. If you get yourself killed out there, then, well, shucks. There we go. We didn't really get all that many items, did we now? Well, I guess it was an expedition and you get less materials on an expedition. Unity with the Grimalkin has increased. Grimalkin Ivy Trap is now available. Earn the right to take on 2-star Master Rank assignments. Lovely, isn't it? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the craftables and the armor and shit like that. Also, I should probably check if I can upgrade the Pookie Hammer, because I could definitely see the Pookie Hammer's next upgrade needing some Viper Tobikadachi materials. We are talking about the probably most poisonous monster in all of world. I don't think there's anything else that has noxious poison, right? Well, Gold Raffian has, I think. Did Gold Raffian have noxious poison? I'm pretty sure Gold Raffian had gold noxious poison. Not so sure about about Silver Rathalos though. Yeah, Gold Raffian definitely had noxious poison now that I think about it. But the strongest poison hammer, still the Pookie Hammer. Nobody knows why, but Pookie's hammer outscales the fucking Chameleon's hammer as well.
As for why I called you back, hold on. Where's the little gourmand? Still finishing off a few steaks at the canteen?
Actually, she's engaged in another investigation at the moment. I'll be supporting her partner for the time being.
I see. Very well then. Let me fill you in. There have been reports of unidentified subspecies in the Wildspire Waste and Highlands. One seems to be a subspecies of Paolumu, and the other of Puke.
And both of them are amazing.
The Analytics Division theorizes that the sudden appearance of new subspecies may be linked to whatever caused the Legiana crossing. Their theory is that some sort of change in the environment has upset their normal behavior. Therefore, we need to take these developments seriously. Seeing as how you'd witnessed the altered Legiana firsthand, I thought you'd be perfect.
Understood. Then my temporary partner here will hunt the subspecies, while I provide support and compile detailed reports for analytics.
Very well. I'm counting on you two.
There we go. There we go.
You've been tasked with investigating the new subspecies. I look forward to working with you, temporary partner.
Why couldn't they just have given us a serious handler from the get-go? Like, seriously. She would be a so much better partner. I know I'm not saying that because I'm into shy girls or something like that. I don't even think she would be considered a shy girl or something. But she would actually make this brains of the operation kind of deal where we are the brawn. And that would make so much more sense. Ah, well, what can you do? What can you do? There we go. So, we have... there are a couple of things. I do kind of want to go back though to Celiana because let's see, let's go to the workshop. Yeah, I think that's the fastest way. Because I kind of want to see if it's possible for us to see the cutscene now. Because, believe it or not, some of you might have never seen it, but there is a unique cutscene for the smithy, the forge or whatever you're calling it. The gacha thing. And I would like to at least show it on stream once. That would be nice. I don't quite know when we're getting the handler back. I think it is the Barrier Hunt. I think once we get to Barrier, we're getting our handler back. But until then, we have the regular handler. Well, we do have our new girl around town.
You've been tasked with investigating the new subspecies. I look forward to working with you.
Why the fuck?
Temporary partner?
Oh, okay, tempered monster hunt, I see.
Reminds me. Get it done for me, will ya?
And another one, capture Viper Tobikadachi. Okay, looks like we are actually getting a couple of side quests again.
Stay tough.
So we're starting to run low on those. Boa Constrictor, what a name.
I wonder.
So I do want to check out the new armor though. And, well, I do want to see the upgrade for the hammer as well. Ooh, the next... Oh, I can actually craft it. That's great. Hey, and we are getting to white sharpness finally. There we go. So, and we can't see the next level, but that is definitely going to increase our damage output by a significant margin. Like, the raw damage upgrade is nice, but the sharpness or modifier increase is is the sweetest. So, but now to the actual thing that I wanted to look at. The armor! I love Banbaro's armor. Like, for most of the time I don't like armor that eats up your character, but how could I hate it? It turns you into a fucking awesome Viking. I would still kind of like if it at least showed my nose and my mouth, so it looks like a real beard instead of something that's sitting on top of my helmet. But I really like this armor set. So, speed eating and offensive guard. Why the fuck do you have offensive guard? I mean, I guess it is kind of a lance set then. Or rather, I guess back then weapons didn't really have specialized sets. And there we go, Moscow. Well, the poison attack would be nice, but I'm not going to farm for this. And then we have regular Kadachi as well. Still looking good. If we're comparing regular Kadachi and Viper Kadachi, I still think I prefer regular Kadachi over Viper Kadachi just because I do like the cool look. Even though the design is nice, the little, God, what's it called? The pattern down here. And I think that's all of them that I can look at. Oh wait, no, Kortos armor. Kind of looks like a piece of the Legianer armor. And the rest of them are just singular armor pieces from all the monsters, I guess. Alright, that's what I wanted to check out. Should I even talk to all of you right now real quick? Yeah, you know what, let's do it before we head out again. Do you have anything to say? Yes, you do.
Good to see you. Well, thanks in advance.
At the heart of the queen or something like that, okay. I will do all these side quests in my off time again, assuming that I will have the off time. If not, then I'm just going to do them at some later point of my playthrough time. What? There are several Banbaro quests. Okay, I'm not going to speak with the last one.
There you are.
Oh, that reminds me, I still need to go to the forge or whatever it is. So, but which of the quests are we going to go for? These are going to be actual quests for once. I kind of want to go for Nightshade first. That's because I do like Nightshade. I mean, I do like both of them, but I do consider my Coral Pookie to be actually the best subspecies of the entire bunch. They're all good. Oh, I am actually running out of Mega Potions. That should be an easily fixable problem though. And there we go. There we go. Now we should be good for a little while longer. Running out of Max Potions might be the bigger issue though. Can I recraft those? Yes, I can. That's good. So, okay, let's eat the meal and then see if we can actually use the little forge over there. We've already seen the cutscene once already today. We do not need to see it again for a little while. And you know what, since I'm passing by you, we might as well talk to you.
Hello there.
Hello there, Linear Researcher. And goodbye there, Linear Researcher. Go on an expedition to Horfus Breach and hunt one large monster. Okay. I guess that's what we have to do. Okay, so now we know how we are going to get the Boa Boa quest started. That thing I am definitely going to do in my off time as well. Because that's kind of an important thing to do. Help the Steam works.
Just hammer on whatever button you like.
Yes, we know how it goes.
Get lucky.
Let's see if I do have enough fuel to actually get this thing over with.
Here, a little
it would be nice, it would be nice. If not, we might be able to still get it, but I really want to show that cutscene on stream once. Because I kind of like the fact that they actually gave her an additional cutscene here.
Smell that? That right there.
Just, hey, there we go. that they made an additional cutscene just for those few quests where we don't have our regular handler with us. It's not much different, but it does have enough differences for me to appreciate those. But I kinda don't see us... Stop interrupting me constantly, like seriously, we could be through this way faster, you didn't have to say something constantly. Honestly, it does look good right now, we might be able to finish this.
Oh, the pipes are singing today! Ready to make this
And
happen.
there we go, we got the little bonus. Okay, this is going to make it a lot easier. For those of you that don't know it, the felines are literally just showing you where the right buttons are. I mean, I think most of you could have figured this one out on your own. I don't know if there's any advantage of going through it faster than usual, but I'm trying to be as fast as possible with it. Ah yes, this is true gameplay. At first I really liked this, but at some point it does get kind of repetitive doing this over and over again. So I think I do like the idea of a minigame like this, adding a couple of resources to your chest, but after a while it becomes tedious, so after a while I literally just throw something on my spacebar just to keep the button down and hope it forges something useful while I'm away. Come on now, come on now. The good thing is I see a couple of things like max potions and stuff like that being created in here. And we're almost... and we're done. So, we are almost done. And we do need one successful one for the last one. There we go. So, let's enjoy the special cutscene for the serious handler. Granted, you won't know how it's different to the regular one if you haven't seen the regular one, since we didn't do the regular one yet, but we're still going to take a look. I do like how the serious handler is actually going to try to help when the machine's going on overdrive, instead of our handler that literally makes the situation worse. And... I love this cutscene. And there we go. Oh, we actually got a fucking Celestial Barbarian print. These things are mega rare. Because I think that's what we need to hand in to get any kind of forging mantle or something like that. So once we start working out something like the Raging Brachydios armor, if we need the Immortal Reactor, that might actually be pretty good. Well then. But enough dilly-dallying, let's head out again, Also, just now noticed, it is a cloudy day, so maybe I want to open the blinds. Okay, my computer is making some weird sounds right now. He is getting quite old, and this game is using a shit ton of RAM, even though it is a very old game.
The 5th A-list hunter will take point while I keep record. The field team has already gathered tracks. Let's follow the scout flies.
Yes. I mean, I don't have to follow the scout flies. I literally know where I need to go. So if you would excuse me for one moment. Where are you, Nightshade Paolumu? That's not a question, I know where you are. Ah, should I have crafted energizers for this fight? Yes. Should I have? Yes. But why didn't I? Because it kind of makes the fight too easy in my opinion. That's one of the things that I never understood when people complained about Nightshade Paolumu being annoying when he puts you to sleep. If you're really all that annoyed, why are you not just bringing fucking energy drinks with you? It's so easy to render his entire gimmick useless. Ah dear. People do like to complain on the internet, I guess. And we did. There he floats around. I also like his design. I do like the idea of him trying to pretend like he's way bigger than he is by showing us those extra eyes. That's one of the reasons why I was so disappointed with the Sunbreak subspecies, because none of the Sunbreak subspecies came close to the quality of the world subspecies, in my opinion. The Iceborne subspecies,
Back
I
with
should
us?
rather say.
That's a relief. Let's continue the hunt.
Yeah, I never understood why Paolumo just fucks off, puts you to sleep and then fucks off. Like, what's the end game here? Oh, looks like you're coming back to me. Hello there. And he's off again. And he's off again. What the fuck was that, Nightshade Paolumo? Well, so much for that, I guess. Okay. Because it's not like I hate the subspecies in Sunbreak, but most of them feel lackluster, I should say. Aurora Somnakampf is probably the best one in my opinion, because she does feel quite different to regular Somnakampf to fight. Blood Orange Bishatten, I'm biased towards, just because I really like base Bishatten. Magmadron and Pyre Ragnargadaki, both. I don't like either of them. Just because, I don't know, I mean, Magmadron I do like because I like regular Almudron, but as a subspecies it doesn't really give me anything special. Like, it just turns the thing into Agnactor replacement, the monster. And Pyakadaki feels like she tries to be thieving Basil Geese and fails at it. And I still don't understand why we didn't get a subspecies for Gossarak. Here in Iceborne, even stuff like Acidic Glavenus was a great subspecies. And Acidic Glavenus feels very different to fight than regular Glavenus. And that's the most important part of a subspecies in my opinion. Actually feeling like a very, like its own unique fight. Well then, do you agree with me, Nightshade Paolumo? So granted, there is one very bad subspecies here as well. I think Shrieking Legiana is basically the worst subspecies out of the entire bunch. Like, Shrieking Legiana is probably worse than all the subspecies in Sunbreak. I don't know what their thinking process with Shrieking Legiana was. Shrieking Legiana is basically the pink Rathian of Iceborne subspecies. Papa! And there we go. There's nothing like an anti-sleep mantle, is there? Hey Barrow! One of the things that I always find fun when fighting Nightshade Paolumo is when he literally just puts you and every monster around you to sleep. But he's a good looking monster. I'm looking forward to see the male Nightshade Paolumo armor. Because I only know the female one, and the female one is basically the same as regular Paolumo, but a little more sinister, I should say. But another thing that I really like about Nightshade Paolumo is there are not all that many sleep monsters most of the time. Like, how many sleep monsters are there in total? I don't know. But there rarely are new sleep monsters. Radovan and Uragan are both sleep monsters. Oh, well, I guess I'm drowning in mud now. Are you not falling asleep, Barrow? Nope. I think he's just at the edge of the cloud. Or maybe he has been hit by Paolumo and that woke him up. So I don't quite know how to fight Nightshade while he's this close to his cloud. Maybe I'm lucky and Barrow is going to take him out of the sky. Oh god. Ah, okay, I can actually do something to you while you're hovering around here. And you're about to sleep. There we go. I think... No, wait. Plesiov did have a paralyzing bite. Somnakampf would be another sleep monster. I don't think that there are any more sleep monsters in the world other than Nightshade and the Band, are there? No, can't think of any. Maybe there are, but I can't think of any. And in the older games... Oh, Great Baggy. Great Baggy would be another sleep monster. Which is also a shame because Great Baggy is the worst of the Raptor trio. He's still better than all of the drones, don't get me wrong. The drones suck balls, but Great Baggy, he's not really a masterpiece either. I still consider Great Baggy to be the weakest monster in all of Rise. Weaker than the tutorial monster even. Up, and so much for that. And my cat's down for the count as well. Ow! Good wake up hit you've got there. I will hand it to you, it's a good wake up hit you got there. And you're actually breaking through my defenses there. Come on Gajalaka, you're a cool little psychopath, ain't ya? Don't you want to throw shit at this monster? Maybe I should have brought flash pots with me. Oh god, is he going to put me to sleep? No. I was lucky there, I was very... Oh wait. Okay, don't know how he got me now. But it feels like I just moved away from the sleep cloud. Ow. There we go. Is there another status effect that monsters rarely use? Because in my opinion, Blast gets used way too much. And I still don't quite understand why Blast is something that I should ever worry about even. Because I will be honest with you, in my opinion, Blast is a status condition that barely has any impact. Yes, you'll need to roll around a bunch, but as long as you do the rolling part within the next couple of seconds, the monster is not going to get any benefit from the blast powder or blast damage it just applied. Also, he's doing a number on me right there. I really need to get him out of the sky. Is he far enough? Okay, he is far enough away for me to at least apply some damage. Let's not roll into the sleep powder there. Well, sleep gas, I should say. Come on, we can take you down. Why am I always clutch clawing onto your tail? I don't want to be on your tail. Ow. And you knocked me off. You didn't do damage to me, you just knocked me off. I think I'm just going to clutch claw onto his head and then just knock him down. Not bad. No idea how I landed there. But I am going to get you down, I can promise you that much for a fact. Okay, this time I did actually aim for the tail. Should not have aimed for the tail, it's probably his most dangerous body part. But it is what it is. Ow. Kinda thought I would have Superman dived there. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's very bad. Wait. Him spitting out the sleep gas does damage to you? What the fuck? Okay, maybe I am actually going to bring some energy drinks with me. And some flash pots, because right now the thing that's more annoying for me personally is the fact that I can't get him out of the sky. Where are my flash pots? There they are. And where are my energy drinks? That's dash extract. Do I have energy drinks? I should have energy drinks, right? There we go. We only have 5, but that should be more than enough. Nightshade Palumu. Time for round number 2. Yeah, I'm literally at the closest camp. Camp 15 you can't get out of, at least not to the upper levels. You can get out of Camp 15 to the lower levels, because otherwise it would be quite a useless camp if you're just stuck there. Then it wouldn't be a camp really, it would more be like a prison. Oh, beautiful white sharpness. How have I missed you? It would have been possible to get white sharpness in high rank as well, but not without decorations or specific armor grinding. So, where are my flash pots? Because I kind of want to do them. Kind of need to use them. Hello, Nightshade Palumu! Oh, that did not work. Ow. Why did that not work? There we go. That's what I like to see. Nightshade Palumu. Let's try this one again, shall we? Can I knock you over? And... I mean, you're on the ground. As long as you are on the ground, I don't care what you're doing. Hey, there we go. That's what we like to see. So much grunting. Why are we grunting so much? If I wanted to listen to a male character grunt the entire time, I would play the last part of the Ezio trilogy. That's the part of Assassin's Creed that really lost me back in the day. Like, I only played the third Ezio game at a friend's house, and within a couple of minutes I was annoyed by the fact that this old man kept grunting and groaning, because apparently every part of his body, every last bone ached with every small movement he made. And yes, if you're old, that's probably how your body feels. But if you're that old that everything hurts constantly, you shouldn't be climbing on towers anymore, old man. Just putting it out there. Also, I rolled in the wrong direction. There we go. But yeah. I think a lot of people have been lost from this. My nose. Why is my nose always itching when I'm streaming? I think a lot of people lost interest in Assassin's Creed at the end of the Ezio saga. Because most people do agree that Brotherhood was the highlight of the entire franchise for a long time. And Black Flag was another one that people really appreciated. I haven't played Black Flag myself, but I can definitely see why people liked it, because hey, boat combat, and also there's a shiny over there that I haven't picked up yet. Give me my shiny. Oh, hello Barov, how are you doing in this fine day? You are pumping up, but feel free to do that. I don't care about that as long as you're still at a slope. You can spend as much time in the air as you want, as long as you are next to a slope, and let's not slide into that. Oh god. Oh god. They're teaming up on me! Oh, that's unfair. And you know what? Barrow. How about you just eat some delicious ants? Or how about you go to sleep? That works as well. Hey, you're poison again. And did I get you? Nope, does not look like I get you. Good, Barrow has been put to sleep and we are going to chase him down. We are out. We are out of flash pots, but that's okay. We still have our energy drink, so we can actually contest him when it comes to sleeping. Also, I should probably refill my stamina. Stamina is not as important for the hammer as it is for the bow or the dual blade, but I think after bow and dual blade, hammer is probably the weapon that uses up the most stamina. Hey Eka, how you doing? I'm fine, I'm doing good. I'm just farming some master rank monsters. Well, not really farming, I'm just playing through master rank. We're still at the very start of master rank, I would say. We're like 3 monsters in. But I'm doing great, I'm doing great. Glad to see you, glad to see you. I'm always surprised when you manage to catch one of my streams during the week, because during the week I have to stream a lot later than on the weekend, just because work, let's be honest, that's the one big reason. There's not really a big secret, a big conspiracy, I just have to be at work during the day. Well, I guess it will change pretty soon, because after all, I will only have a job for 1 more week and then I'm out of it. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I think I explained it already, but that's just because my contract is running out and I do have something else on the horizon as well. But that does mean a couple of weeks where I can actually stream a lot more and a lot earlier in the day as well. I also want to start going back to the gym during that time, because I think I'm physically healthy enough to go back to the gym again. I just finished my HV though. I have morning class tomorrow lol. It's already 1 AM. Oh damn, yeah, it's quite late at your place. In Austria it is only 8 PM right now, so I still have a little bit of evening left before the night forces me to go to sleep again. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I was surprised to see you at this time of day. You're more of a weekend watcher for me in my mind. Oh, come on, get knocked down. You know you want to be knocked down. Is that your regular sleeping schedule, by the way? Are you awake until 1 AM a lot of the times, or is that an exception?
Hey!
Hello, honey!
I have returned for the first day of work in a long time.
He has returned! How was work, honey? Surprise girlfriend in the background once again.
Surprise, my girlfriend came back.
Doesn't she all?
Nightshade, yeah.
Yes, you've returned to see your beloved boy.
Hi, baby.
Hello.
Mwah.
Oh, I'm asleep.
I'm so tired. I'm so freaking tired.
Fair enough. Do you need Nightshade to put you to sleep?
Yes, please. Nightshade, sleep me. Sleep me now.
Ah! Well, I think he mistook me for you.
Hello, Mr. Chatter over here.
On the weekend you usually go for 4 AM. You're a lot like our roomie in that sense.
Damn.
I mean, I guess.
Respect my dude.
I mean, I guess for her it's not just the weekend when she goes to sleep at 4 AM.
Fair. I am great, by the way. Thanks for asking. I'm just very tired because I come back from a 10-hour shift. Don't know if that was intended for me, but I will answer it nonetheless.
Pretty sure it was intended for you because he already asked me how I was. So he's either talking to me or Sleepy, and since Sleepy hasn't said anything in a while, I will just assume that it was you. There are pancakes in the fridge for you. I made like 19 extra pancakes, so we'll have enough for this dinner and tomorrow.
Thank you very much. 10 hour shifts are pretty hard. Yeah, I work in sales, like retail. I work retail. I work in a bookstore, which is normally not that hard because people like books, but most of the time they either want recommendations or they know what they want already, and then it's very easy.
I mean, I don't think the 10-hour shifts are ever easy, no matter the job.
Today it was my, I was stuck like 7 hours of the entire shift. I was stuck at the register, at the checkout, and so that's the hardest part because then people are the most agitated, the most pissed off because no, you didn't tell me that this was gonna be this. But I love it. The thing is, I love sales and I love retail. It sounds weird, but I like just, you know, finding what people like, and especially books. I love reading books, but...
Yes, we are having pancakes for dinner. Pancakes, dude. Everything's alright, honey.
I'm just talking. I'm just talking right now because I'm tired.
I mean, he did ask you how you are, so I think that's fair. But yes, we are eating pancakes for dinner because pancakes do take a little while to make because I do have to fry every pancake individually. So I don't really have the time to do them at any other time of the day other than for dinner.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's very normal to me because when I grew up we didn't have that much money, and so there was like a pancake Monday and a spinach Tuesday, where we only ate those things all the time.
I don't think none of them really sound as marketable as Taco Tuesday, I do have to say.
Spinach Tuesday is the superior one. I love spinach.
Why is it not Spinach Saturday or Spinach Sunday? At least you have one starting lesson.
Stuck in German.
That still does not work!
Oh, that's very cute. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Retail is hard, but to be honest, I kind of love it. I'm a sucker for retail. Maybe I will. I've been in retail for like 3 years because I did an apprenticeship. Like I'm a qualified bookseller now. Whatever that means in the state of Austria. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I shouldn't talk.
No,
I'm leaving. I'm sorry, baby.
No, please.
I don't know if you're joking or not, right?
No, go for it. Literally, I don't care if you're speaking with stream, I just want people to be able to hear you.
Absolutely fair. Thank you, sweetie.
You're right, everything's right.
Thing is, that's very cute, but yeah, retail is never easy. It's just you have to like working with people, and even though I'm a massive introvert, I love working with and for people and something.
To be honest, that was one of the things that confused me the most about you when I started dating you. That you love working in retail, but you're such a massive introvert.
Absolutely fair, yeah. I prefer to stay at home. I don't like to meet people, but I love working sales. I love it. I'm like my dad in that regard. My dad works for sales for like a big company, and he's always out and he loves working, but in his private time he's always just like.
What is up with this fucking barrel? He keeps stalking me.
But you go back to your commentary now, sweetie. I will go warm up some pancakes.
Good appetit, whatever that is in English.
Right now I also don't know.
Okay.
But you have a nice time, Eka? Mr. Eka in chat. And yeah, I'm gonna get myself some food, sweetie.
Mwah.
You have some nice time.
Thank you, you too.
And he's gonna go back to the focus now. Oh, sorry.
Not you, Barrow.
Sorry, I can't be Barrow.
I am quite grateful for the fact that you are not Barrow, believe it or not.
How dare you!
Oh, dare I?
To be Barrow!
Okay, I guess I'm going to cook some ants for you then.
Lovely.
Would you eat insects as a pescatarian? I mean, I don't. Okay, so insects are okay, kind of.
There was like, that was the first time I ever drank absinthe.
Mm-hmm.
Absinthe, and then they had like an absinthe. There was like a stag beetle immersed into the absinthe.
Is it kind of like that snake alcohol in Saudi Arabia?
I think so, and they told me, yeah, if you eat that beetle, then we will give you a shot for free.
Wasn't there
and
some?
I ate that beetle. It was crunchy. It was a bit disgusting, but it was crunchy.
Honestly,
other cultures eat beetles, so I can eat beetles.
I mean, that describes most insects in my experience. Most of the time, insects are literally just crunchy with gooey innards and basically no
I don't
taste.
understand why people are just like, oh no, it's so disgusting. It's just another form of meat, of eating.
You do realize eating insects is normal here in Thailand. It's one of the common street foods. No, I didn't know that, but to be fair, I'm not really surprised by it either. Because I think the only regions where I do know that insects are commonly eaten are Australia, and other than that I don't know any region for sure, but I'm not surprised that it's like that in Thailand. Absolutely. I would eat them, I would try them, because most of the time if you serve insects with a good sauce, they basically taste like nothing but the sauce.
The thing is that, like I said, I ate one stag beetle or something like that. It was just crunchy with a lot of soaked in alcohol, so it was a lot soaked in alcohol. So I want to try proper insects. It sounds so weird, but yeah, it's.
I ate grasshoppers, which are basically the basic bitch insect to eat, I think.
I'm very interested. I want to try it. I don't like it at all. Interesting.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of people probably don't like it. I think it's just very common, but that does not necessarily mean you have to like it. I personally don't know if I would like it even much either. Most part, I don't care about it, but I am always curious about new food. I mean, I ate chicken feet that were served cold and just boiled. They basically tasted like eating rubber. Like when I ordered them, the waitress was like, "Are you sure about that, sir?" And I was like, "Yes, I want the chicken feet."
The thing is, I personally, I have such a problem with like texture. When my food has a weird texture, I'm just like, eh. But the thing is, I want to try new foods.
I have this weird thing I called I don't eat what my food eat lol. Okay.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
Can you turn on the light when you go, honey? Well, thank you not, I guess. Thank you.
Now he's bathed in light.
Now I'm bathed in brightness and now I'm poised.
Honey, so pale the light literally bounces off.
I know. I know. People always wonder when I say, "Oh my god, I got so much color," and then they go like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're the palest fucker I know." And then I'm like, "Ah, you really think so?"
That's the problem with coming from like the northern hemisphere. Ah yes, I got tan. No, you just look like normal. No, you don't understand. This is my tan.
To be fair, I think I'm pretty even very pale for someone from the northern hemisphere, just because I don't really get brown. At best, I get reddish, like a radish.
Yeah. We are.
You should really come to town to get more. I guarantee you, I wouldn't get tan. At best, I would look like a fucking strawberry.
That would look cute.
I would look like a delicious summer fruit.
I get a bit tan. Like, I know I get a bit more tan, but I'm still...
And if I get sunburned, I will look like a watermelon.
The thing is with me, I know I get a bit tan, but I'm always it's very light.
I've only ever known one person paler than me, and that person had a literal sun allergy, so fair play.
Yeah. That's the problem, but yeah, nah. Like the thing is that the most popular vacation spot near here is like Croatia, and that's where all people go to, like, go to...
Really? Isn't it Italy?
Italy or Croatia, but in my experience, go to Croatia.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I have to know, most of my friends are, most of my contacts are somehow, somewhere, have something to do with history. And Croatia, while the languages are not the same, there is a lot of overlap.
I mean, you do kind of have the problem wherever you go on holiday in Europe. In America, you can drive for 20 hours and still speak the same language. In Europe, you can fall asleep on the bus and end up in a place that doesn't speak your language.
Oh yeah, you like go to Slovenia or Slovakia?
Yes, but not on accident. And it was Hungary.
Hungary, my bad.
Also, surprisingly enough, in Hungary, people do have an easier time understanding you when you speak German than when you speak English.
Same thing in Bratislava.
Oh, interesting.
In my experience, they speak really good English. That's not the point. But when I spoke German, it was like, yeah, it's German, the language we all know. But that's mostly because Bratislava is like 1 hour away from German. I went to like a guided city tour.
I think 1 hour might be cutting it a little close.
No, it's really an hour.
Really?
Literally. Bratislava is literally an hour from Vienna. And the thing is, there was like this, I went to a guided city tour because they have those for free in a lot of cities, also in Vienna. And they literally told us, yeah, there's the river, and while Bratislava was under Soviet capture, a lot of people went to the river and should try to swim the hour to Vienna. Try to swim the hour to Austria.
I mean, if you're a good swimmer, why not?
And it was just like, oh, okay.
Uh-oh. So come on. Ah!
Have energy.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, I don't need the energy. Yeah. In Europe, everything is clustered pretty hard because Europe is just very small compared to a lot of other places.
I get why people are just like, yeah, I've only been to my home country and to no other country because it's kind of a luxury to go to another country, especially if you're American. Like, you have your one continent, and I can understand why people, why it's, I mean, there was always like, okay.
Let's see what thing we're talking about. I mean, you can certainly try. We'll try our best to answer your question, but we do need a couple more details than this thing, I'm afraid. So in Thailand we speak Thai language, right? Okay. I think we're probably going for something like, do we have a centralized language in all of Europe or something like that? Maybe? But if you go to the North Thailand, they will speak different kind of Thai. Oh, okay, so that's what you're going for. Well, I think that kind of depends on the European country. Most European countries do have their own language. For example, Austria is speaking German. In France, you're speaking French, of course. But within a country, you are probably only going to speak one language in most European nations.
It depends. I mean, do you understand the person from
Yes. I might not be able to understand someone from Vorarlberg, but that's not because they're speaking a different language. It's because they're speaking a fucking twisted dialect. For your better understanding, Austria is a country that stretched from east to west. And we in Vienna are living at the eastern end of the country. But at the western end of the country you have Vorarlberg. And the Vorarlberger do have an accent that's so strong that it's low-key impossible to understand them at times.
Interesting, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But also not weird. I think...
Hey!
Ooh, nice! What I know about that is I'm not an expert on Spanish
Let's return to Astera and
culture,
prepare for the
so
next
don't quote me
investigation.
on that. But I know that in Spain they have like a big they have like a big disconnect because there's a region of Spain that wants to separate from Spain, and they speak an entirely mostly different language, and they get very angry when you speak Castellano, which is like the basic form of Spanish in that region, at them, and it's very complicated. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the eco-political, socio-political situation in Spain, but yeah.
One thing that I could think of now would be Germany's German and Austria's German.
Oh, yeah.
Both of our countries are speaking German, but there are differences between the language, like with British English and American English. There are a couple of words that are just straight up different. For example, the pancakes. In Germany, you would call them Pfannkuchen, which is pretty much a one-to-one translation of pancakes. But in Austria, we would call them Palatschinken, because...
Which is actually an Hungarian word, because
of that reason.
traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese. You know what? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely fair.
But yeah, within a country, in any European country, you're mostly going to end up speaking one language. I don't think there are as big of differences there within single countries.
I think it's mostly just dialect.
Yeah.
Like there is like the people from another side of the country don't understand the people from the other side of the country, and it's also always a big meme. At least from what I get from my European friends.
One subspecies left to investigate.
Austrian.
Just leave records and analysis
I have a good
to me.
friend. He is from like the west, from the western part of Austria. He's from Vorarlberg. Which the thing is, this is like a whole county separated by a mountain from the rest of the country. And he's always sometimes in Vienna to visit his girlfriend, and it's he has not a very heavy accent, but when he talks to people from his own city or from his own county, then it's sometimes hard to understand him. And at least you. He told me like a phrase yesterday, and I was just like.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
I also have a very heavy dialect if I want to, because my family is from the countryside, and my parents didn't want me to speak proper German. They wanted me to learn the dialect.
It's such a weird thing, because I mean, I guess that's the difference with you being from the countryside and me being from the city. Because me being from the city, my parents insisted on me speaking with as little dialect as possible. I still have a dialect, but not in English. In English, my dialect is a weird Frankenstein's monstrum of the Australian, British, and American dialect, because that's mostly how my English was put together. In German, I do still have a little bit of a dialect, unless I'm around other people speaking with heavy dialect, because then I immediately get a heavier dialect myself, because I just absorb the dialect very fast.
He listens to me when I talk to my dad over the phone, and it's always very funny. Because it's just like, yes, what the fuck?
The one thing I really don't understand about her dialect is my parents speak with very little dialect, but the second she's talking to my parents, she's still reverting to heavy dialect, and I don't know why.
I also don't know why. I think it's because parents in general.
Yeah,
I speak
maybe.
to my mom like that, I speak to my dad like that, I speak to my my stepmom like that. It's very.
I used to want to study German, but the gender and objects kind of discouraged me. Yeah, that's very fair. Honestly, as someone that speaks English and German, I do have to say, objectively speaking, English is a way easier language than German.
If you ever want to go back into it, then I have one. This is one hack. A friend of mine, a British friend of mine, told me, just ignore the fucking the genders. Just ignore them. Learn the grammatic because then it's easy. But
the Fifth Fleet's
that's the only thing he told me. Just like, yeah, no, it was easy to learn once you ignored the fucking gender, and I was just like, okay, fair.
Yeah.
The Adidas is terrible.
Yeah, especially since there is not really any rule to follow when it comes to gendering objects, because why is it... Yeah, that's literally what I wanted to say, desk, but yes, the same concept applies. It's really, there's not really any specific rule you can follow. But honestly, I don't hate it as much as French and them just not saying the last letter of every fucking word. How am I supposed to know how to write any word if you don't finish saying it?
The thing is, I think French is beautiful, but that's also my problem with it. But I have a problem with Russian because when I finished my when I finished school, basically, when I finished my scholarly education, for a year I went to live in Russia because there was like a program, European social program where you can work for free and they pay for your apartment in another country. And I went to Russia, to St. Petersburg. And the thing is, I knew a bit of Russian. I tried to learn a bit before I went to Russia to not stand there and be just like,
Do you suppose what's riling them up
I don't
is
know
connected to
anything.
the issue with the Legiana?
But the grammar makes me puke every time. I speak a bit of Russian. It's not great, but it's also not bad. But Russian is terrifying. It's a beautiful language. Also, Ukrainian in general. Beautiful language. Terrifying. Whenever I talk to someone who's of Russian ancestry or who I have a good friend of mine. Her mother is from Russia, and she taught me like these things before I left to Russia.
Oh
damn. And the thing is, it's terrible. I feel like I'm so dumb. How could someone with Russian? And my Russian is not that bad. Terrible, but it's not that bad.
I will take her word for it. I have no idea what she's saying when she's speaking Russian. Yeah, you used to speak a lot more Russian at the start of our relationship. That was kind of your default for a while. We were just immediately just said a couple of random things in Russian.
I don't know why. I think it was mostly just, you know, when you live there and then you have to readjust to just speaking German.
Yeah, maybe. It was just a little awkward every time because it's like, yes, because I never knew what to say because I didn't know what you said.
I don't know. I was just a little language reader. I wish I had like a brain for learning languages because I think learning languages is very important. But
a friend of mine is kind of insane when it comes to stuff like that. She's speaking fucking 6 languages, if it isn't 7 at this point.
Amy?
Yeah, it's not Ellie.
Ellie?
Amy, I think Amy only speaks 2 languages. She doesn't even speak Japanese, even though she's living there for 2 or 3 years at this point.
Oh, she doesn't?
Yeah, Amy can barely say a straight sentence in Japanese, and I don't know how she survives in the country. She's teaching in Japan. I don't know what she's teaching or how she's teaching it, because she doesn't speak Japanese, but she's teaching.
Hey, at least she's just having a grand old time.
Yeah, I do have to write her again. I haven't really heard her for a couple of months. That's usually how we interact. We do chat for a couple of hours straight every couple of months, and that's roughly how we keep one another up to date.
Mostly how I talk to my friends in Russia. I mean, I don't have any friends in Russia anymore. They all fled the country.
Okay, I will bite. What's a weird opinion in learning languages? The more I learn new languages, the sadder I become. Why?
I know what you mean.
Do you?
Yes.
What? What? Okay, I'm only bilingual. Please explain to me why knowing more languages makes you sadder.
Now the thing is, I know about 3 languages and a few words and a couple others. It's always very disheartening because I'm always feeling like, oh no, I don't know everything. I don't know how to talk and I will never learn because there's so much to learn and I will never learn perfectly. I don't know, maybe it's my own personal perfectionism coming out, but
It's because I feel like, how could I have missed out this beautiful? Oh, okay. I think I'm just someone that does not get as much FOMO as a lot of other people, so I'm not really getting affected in the same way, probably. I don't know, I never really had a big interest in learning more than 2 languages, because in my head it was always like, okay, English is the international language of the West, and why learn another language when my English is barely passable on a conversational level? So let's rather improve the English instead of adding a 3rd language that I won't really need most of the time. Oh, hey, Paolumo, where the fuck did you come from?
I think it's very nice that you're very proactive about it. I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm horrible.
I feel like there are a lot of things that I still haven't figured out yet. I mean, I think most people are just faking it for most of their life. Like, as a child I always thought adults had everything figured out. And as an adult myself I realized, nope, most people are literally just faking it for their entire life.
Oh yeah.
That makes me sad. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to be an entertaining stream. Did I get too real there for a second? Let's focus back on the Pookie Pookie! Yay! Core Pookie Pookie! Best subspecies! Yay!
No, but I feel you. I feel you very much. I also don't think I have anything figured out, and I've been an adult for 5 years now, and I'm still feel so fumbling. Like I've got my first apartment now 2 months ago, and I'm just like, how do I live?
I mean, you have to consider my point. I originally planned to get a job and move out when I was 18. I barely managed to move out before I was 30, you know? I thought by the time I got around to being 30, I would probably be settled into my life perfectly, but alas.
Yeah, I thought when I was 30 I get like children. I would get like children or something like that.
Yeah.
And now I think about I'm 23 and I don't want to have children in 7 years.
Appa!
7 years, damn. I'm just 30.
I think 7 years, in my mind, it is kind of a lot of time, because when I think about the point of my life where I was at 7 years ago, that's quite a long time, actually.
Oh yeah, I was a very, very terrifying 16-year-old.
I think I was still studying biology 7 years ago, I think.
I think it was like, yeah, I was 16 and very edgy.
I mean, I was still very edgy when I was studying biology.
I was a punk and emo and goth. I was just all of them and nothing great. I was just wearing black with black eyeliner, scrunched in my face.
Who wasn't?
Yeah. My mom doesn't have pictures from that time, and sometimes I'm sad about that because I look so terrible. I don't want people to see it.
I mean, I do remember one of the first things when we started chatting a lot was that we showed one another weird pictures for apart from one another. It was an interesting time. Usually would try to hold off on these things until much later into a relationship, but both of us were just like, hey, look how stupid I looked as a teen.
Oh yeah.
I told you I'd pick up a new hobby, building. Yes, you mentioned okay, try again. You mentioned building mechanical keyboards last time around. How's it going so far? I'm still waiting for that picture you wanted to post on the Discord. You joined, but I'm still waiting for the picture.
Now I'm excited as well.
Please.
So I'm gonna make myself some food now because I'm terribly hungry. You have a nice time, and you also have a nice time, sweetie.
Thank you.
Destroy that coral, Pookie Pookie.
I will do my best.
I'm broke now.
No.
When I finally bought myself some new painting supplies, I felt that. Yeah. Ah, yes. But you have a nice time. You have a nice time, sweetie.
Speaking of things you bought, by the way, what the fuck's in the giant package?
Hey, that's what she said.
Is it?
I don't know, honey.
Okay, fair enough.
Another thing is I bought myself some Wandregale.
Wall shelves? If we translate it literally?
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of sounds awkward. Which channel should I post on? Just post it in the general channel, it's fine. Honestly, as long as there's as little activity on this Discord as there is right now, I don't really care too much. I don't think we need to worry about having things. Ah yes, definitely the next XQC in the here. Making those Twitch million.
Look everyone, I'm dating a celebrity.
Oh man. I mean, at which point do you really become a celebrity? How many people do have to know you to be considered a celebrity? Or is it something like the way you know someone? Like, when someone would be known by everyone in the village, like several hundreds of people, they probably wouldn't be a celebrity. But if someone is known by several hundreds of people over the internet or over movies and television, then he would probably be considered a celebrity. A D-list celebrity, but a celebrity.
Yes.
We'll try to remember to post a picture. Please, please do, because I'm actually interested to see how it turns out. Because I think you're the first one that will ever tell me about building mechanical keyboards as a hobby, or modding them. You've been researching like non-stop. Honestly, that's the best way to go about shit like that anyway. Like, before you spend any big money and probably break a couple of keyboards in the process, it's always better to just spend the extra time researching, just so you are ready to get started and actually can do a decent job once you got started. Not that there's anything wrong with doing a bad job at the start, but it does help saving on some money. Hey! Paolumu, don't you dare interrupting this. This is my moment. This is mine and Pookie Pookie's moment. You had your chance last hunt. I kind of missed monsters getting involved in my hunts that are not the actual target. That's something that we have you don't really experience in Rise. I think one hobby that I researched a lot before I really got started in it was isopods. And I know it's always kind of cringe to talk about animals as a hobby, but it kind of started as me trying to build biotopes. Hey, and there we go. 2 subspecies down.
Mission complete. I'm beginning to believe there is some connection to these subspecies.
Oh, come on, don't stun me when I'm trying to go calf. Fuck off, Paolumu. I'm trying to get my loot here. Thank you. Oh, you've been approved for your thesis topic. Nice, congratulations. Well done. What is your thesis topic? Sorry if you have already told me about your thesis topic. If so, then I can't remember it, so I'll just straight up ask, what is your thesis topic? There is no silly hobby, bro. Oh, did I say that was a silly hobby? I think No, I think the thing that I wanted to talk about is that I don't really like talking about having pets as a hobby. Because I always find it kind of weird when people talk about the reptilian hobby. And I can definitely see where they're coming from, with building enclosures and stuff like that. But we are still talking about living beings. That's my one weird problem with talking about any kind of animal as a hobby.
The thing is, I can see where they're coming from, though.
Okay.
Like, it's their hobby to take care of animals.
Yeah, I just like...
I mean, I think they're... you have an... I wanted to say an ant hobby.
Me isopods, they're still sitting on their potato eating right now. And looks like they're just getting nervous because the enclosure is moving.
It's it's always very cute because he comes to me and it's just like, sweetie, 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 look at the isopods.
Look at the isopods.
And it's very cute because it's just like, sweetie, sweetie, have you looked at the isopods? Look, the big one is moving. Look, Titan is moving.
My topic is patient pre-screening using image classification. Damn. That sounds very complicated.
It's not too personal. What are you doing, like, for studying? Like,
I think he's answering that question right now. I'll have to study techniques on image processing, machine learning, and computer vision. So I'll have a chance to develop an end-to-end image classification model for categorizing a white-to-white image, which is the latest technology for eye imaging into normal or glaucoma patients. The experimental results will be comprehensively discussed to gain a hands-on knowledge of a model development for an artificial intelligence project. Damn!
Ooh.
That sounds very complicated.
Oh my god, very cool, respect.
And I'll wish you best of luck with your thesis.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hope whatever you're doing will succeed.
Splendid job.
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds like something that's going to actually advance the world's knowledge.
Wow.
And here we are, me checking things off a list and you selling books. Maybe you can sell a book on his thesis once he's finished.
Hey my dude, you want me to sell some books? Qualified books. That makes me want to go back to university.
Shall we return to Celiana?
I want to take up. I wanted actually to study archaeology, but I didn't spoke Latin, so I had to first had to study history, and then I dropped out of my history study because of mental health issues. But I want to go back. I want to go back to archaeology. That's like
really.
I love it so much.
Interesting.
Because glaucoma is one of
Working
the
hard?
causes of preventable blindness. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as preventable. I mean, I guess it does make sense.
It's cool that it's preventable.
Yeah, it's always good if something is preventable.
Because I think I know of glaucoma, but because
Oh damn, 50% is a high number.
damn, that's so cool.
Just because I don't want to demotivate you, by the way, from going back to university or anything, but you do remind me of a TikTok that I recently saw, where there was a question like, hey, what's a very over-romanticized thing in our modern society? And the TikTok was like, archaeology. It's hard to get work in that field, you are never really rooted down, and most of the time you're digging up nothing.
I know, it would not be the best for, like, my work, but my thesis could help this 50%.
I hope so too.
Cool.
I hope so too.
Damn!
It's just
so cool.
It's still, I mean, even if it's just approximately, even if it's only 40%, it's still a pretty high number. Welcome back, and hey, nice work back east. Your handler's been using bliss pills to send me updates. Sounds like they came across a barrier prowling about while investigating the shipwreck. Here, I'll read you her report. Look at how nice her handwriting is. And is the field team leader hitting on our handler? I never really read the dialogue here, but it does kind of sound like he's hitting on our handler. I mean, he can have her if he wants her.
I want him.
Okay, I guess that's a different problem. Investigate the wrecked vessel and environs with First Fleet handler. So, survey interrupted by barrier. Reporting as per protocol. We'll shelter until safe, then continue work. Our return will be delayed, but everything is under control. I'm sure they are fine, right? Yeah, of course they are. But to be on the safe side, I'm going to ask you to take care of that barrier. Okay, gotcha. Well then, barrier of
The weather
time.
report states that the hinterlands is due for a blizzard soon. If we're going to find them, we had best hurry. Oh no.
There we go. Ah, Barioth is such a weird monster for me, because personally I love Barioth's design, but I'm not the biggest fan of his hunt, because it's mostly jumping around. He's like a fancy Raffian in that sense. I do love Frostfang Barioth. Frostfang Barioth has an awesome fight, but regular Barioth, not so much. I kind of hope maybe maybe we're getting Frostfang Barioth back as well in Sunbreak. I'm not complaining if we don't get him back, because we just had him in the last game, and if we had a monster in the last game, I don't see much of a point in bringing it back for the current game, but still, it would be nice. There was a difference, of course, with Base World, because the changes from World to Generations Ultimate were huge. Let's be honest there. Alright then, let's out and be on and about. I don't... Wait, no, I do need to refill my items. Yes, I do. And I will probably need null berries again. And there we go. Ah, my ears are starting to hurt a little from my headphones, which is weird. Usually that does not happen. To be honest, right now I'm kind of burnt out by Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Yeah, me too. That's one of the reasons why I went back to World. I don't know, well, I do know why. There was a Team Darkside video recently, in case you don't know Team Darkside. They are a group of Monster Hunter speedrunners for the most part on YouTube. But the thing about Team Darkside is they uploaded a video comparing World to Rise, not just visually, but also in terms of monster interactions and stuff like that. And World was just so much better that it really sparked my desire to go back to World, and I didn't regret it. Right now I do have way more fun replaying Iceborne for the third time than I do have with Sunbreak, because the investigations, yeah, investigation farming is so... Because the thing that pisses me off about investigation farming right now is the fact that it's always moving the goalposts when it comes to the investigation target. Like, I barely started getting a quest that started with level 41, well, 41 monsters, and immediate like, hey, hunt this monster on level 51, hunt this monster on level 51. And I'm like, I would do it! I would do it if you gave me quests for it! Ah, but yeah. I mean, there is another update on the horizon at the end of September, so maybe that will get both of us back into Sunbreak, but I can definitely see why you're burnt out on Sunbreak a little right now, cause I am too. So instead, we're having some fun in Iceborne. And once we're done with Iceborne, by the time the update should probably be out. And if it isn't out, then Bloodborne is also on my list to revisit. And a couple of smaller games are going to launch in September that I want to visit. Like Temtem does have the full release in September, and Ooblet does have the full release on the 1st of September, so that's something I'm looking forward to revisiting. If you don't know Ooblet is a creature collector plus a farming sim plus a deck builder. It's weird in that regard, but I do enjoy Ooblet. There you are, Barrioth. I love Barrioth's design. Visually, Barrioth is great. Because I'm a big fan of saber-tooth cats. Fun fact, by the way. Whenever there's an Ice Age, big cats develop saber teeth. People are not entirely sure why, probably because there's a lot more megafauna around whenever there's an Ice Age, and having saber teeth does seem useful when it comes to killing megafauna, but a lot of the time the saber teeth don't really help that much when it comes to stuff like that, because they can be quite fragile. So scientists are still uncertain why why saber teeth always happen whenever there's an Ice Age. I haven't heard of it. Yeah, I think Ooblet is not the best known game. Oh, that's bad, is it? No, it's not bad. But I did have a lot of fun when I revisited it a couple of months ago. It's very unique because I love creature collectors. I think it doesn't really come as a surprise that someone who likes to play games with like Monster Hunter and who studied biology does love games that have a lot of cute and colorful animals in them. But creature collectors are one of my favorite genres. In case you were wondering if I like Pokemon, I used to like Pokemon until Gen 8. And then Gen 8 happened and kind of opened my eyes about how lackluster the entire franchise has become. And ever since I can't really have fun with Pokemon anymore. I mean, I'm not necessarily good at biology, because I'm mostly good at the zoology part of biology. I'm not very well versed when it comes to microbiology, which is kind of the most important part of biology these days. But I'm very interested when it comes to biology as a whole, because that's one of the reasons I started. Even to this day, I love watching documentaries about animals and geology and stuff like that. I'm following a shit ton of YouTube channels about this stuff that are run by actual fucking scientists. And honestly, I wish some of these YouTube videos would actually be used during class lessons, because a lot of the time they are condensed in a way that's way easier to understand than book knowledge and way easier to remember, because in my honest opinion, if information is presented with a sense of humor to it, then it's always easier to remember. At least in my personal experience. Maybe not everyone works like that, but that's just how my internal clock ticks. There we go. So let's get rid of some teeth here, big boy. Let's get rid of some teeth, shall we? The new Pokemon game is pretty decent, to be honest. The one where they go back in the past or something. Archive. My girlfriend likes Archive a lot. I tried it after she finished because I borrowed her copy and I wanted to see how it is. It didn't really convince me either. I think Pokemon probably would have to do some major changes for me to be interested again. I don't know what those changes would be, but I don't see any big changes with Scarlet and Violet. Gen 8 just burned me with, okay, we are getting rid of half of the decks, we are lying about the fact why we are doing it, we are re-adding the decks, half of the missing half, for 30 extra bucks. If you bought both editions, then you'll need to buy the DLC twice, once per edition, and so on and so forth. Yeah. I like the fact they can dodge Pokemon attack. I do appreciate that they finally tried something new with the with Archive. I can appreciate that fact, but it's probably just too little for me. I do need some more core changes. But as I established, if you're having fun with this game, I will never take away from that fun that you are having. I am happy that other people can still have fun with the game. I am a cynical old bastard who is just very unhappy and grumpy, but no matter how much I complain, it's never meant to reduce the amount of enjoyment someone else can get out of a game. But the problem is they're only using it in a side game. I kind of wish that they would do something with the main franchise that was not following the old tried and true formula, if you can even call it tried and true anymore. And the fact that instead of adding to an existing core and improving said core, that they are just ditching a lot of things now every generation and trying another gimmick that we know it's going to get ditched for the next generation as well. Like this entire, I don't know, use weird sparkly things on the Pokemon. It's kind of like the Gigantamax, but not really, but kind of like Mega Evolution. It's so weird, it's so weird. I don't really like it, but yeah, let's see. Let's see how Gen 9 turns out. Maybe it will surprise us, but I'm not holding my breath. I want to see the same Pokemon game to have the same level of content breath as well. Me too. I think Pokemon needs to take a break. Right now, Pokemon is an annualized franchise, and the only way Pokemon could really improve at this point, I think, is by taking a couple of years off, like a minimum of 1 year break, better a 2-year break, and really focus on doing one great game, like really polishing it. Because right now you can clearly see that they are way too rushed. You can literally watch the trailers, like for Archives, for example. You can literally see how every trailer, it has a little more visual polish. Like in one they added grass, in the next one they added a couple of flowers, then for the final game they added trees. And the fact that they were so stressed that they couldn't even finish the visuals for before each trailer had to drop just tells me how stressful it is for them to get every Pokemon out. they kind of need to do it either like the Ubisoft route of having maybe rotating teams where one team builds one game and the other team builds the next game in the meantime. But the fact that there is just one team working on each Pokemon game, that's just, I don't know, that just doesn't work out for them. You can see it. The new Pokemon trailer looks weird as fuck. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, the entire bike thing, the fact that the legendaries are glorified HM bitches doesn't sit right with me. And I'm not even interested in it anymore. It's just so weird because legendaries used to be those mythical creatures and now a teenager uses them to ride around the countryside. Ow. But yeah, let's see how the finished product goes. I'm just very happy that... Ow, what the fuck happened there? I'm just very happy that indie games are adapting to the genre, and this is getting very framey right now. Why? Is it because of the snowstorm? It might be because of the snowstorm. Because there are so many good indie... Oh god, that's bad. Come on, heal up. So many good indie games in the creature collecting genre. My personal favorite right now is Monster Sanctuary. In case you don't know Monster Sanctuary is very interesting because it combines creature collecting with a Metroidvania. Like, you literally have to use the ability of creatures you can catch to progress through the world. Like, for example, you need a koi fish before you can start swimming through the ocean. But if you want to swim against the current, you will need one of the Nautilidae. Oh god. Why is Barrier giving me so much trouble right now? I might need to upgrade my armor again. I'm excited for Silksong. Yes, Silksong is definitely the game I'm hyped for the most, because Hollow Knight is my favorite game of all time. Hollow Knight was wonderful and beautiful and pretty much perfect in any way, in my honest opinion. So I am looking forward to see to Silksong, but I want Team Cherry to take all the time that they deem necessary, because I know whenever we are going to get the finished product at some point, it will just be a wonderful experience and maybe the first game since 2017 that I love more than Hollow Knight. If anyone is able to develop a game that I love more than Hollow Knight, it will be the guys that made the original Hollow Knight, because you can really feel how Team Cherry actually cares about the art they are creating. Money is secondary to them, because if money was important to them, then they definitely developed Hollow Knight in a weird way. I don't know if you know anything about the development process of Hollow Knight, but Hollow Knight was created on a budget of roughly $65,000, because that's all the money that the Kickstarter managed to raise. So barely anything when it came to game development. And the things they had to do during the development cycle just to finish the game are kind of insane. Like, one of them kind of became a homeless person over the development cycle. Granted, he just moved in with his girlfriend to save money, but still. Another crazy thing they did was they stopped buying food. To save on money, they started eating the sandwich rests from another office building that was in the same apartment block that they were working in. Then they rented out half of their studio to a voice acting girl that needed a workspace as well, just to save on even more money then. It's insane the lengths they went to just to be able to finish the game the way they wanted to finish it. Sure, I would love to know more about the updates about the games though. While I do understand the want to know more about updates and stuff like that, the thing is, one of the most beautiful parts of Hollow Knight, in my opinion, is the exploration aspect. And the less we know about Silksong, the more fun we'll have with the first time exploring. Because you only have one chance to explore something for the first time. Once you've explored it, once you've seen everything, even if you're going for replays and even if you're still having fun with that replays, you will never have the astoundment, the amazement of seeing shit for the first time. So I'm honestly kind of happy that they're not showing too much, because it will leave way more mystery to the world that they are creating. Because I replayed Hollow Knight 5 or 6 times at this point. As I already established, it is my favorite game of all time. And I love this game to bits. But and while all of my consecutive replays were a lot of fun, none of them were able to recapture the magic of the very first playthrough. The very first time you're like, oh my god, it's just getting green. What do you mean it's the green path? And look at this mushroom area. And why the fuck is there a gigantic city where it constantly rains? And stuff like that. Just thinking about Hollow Knight makes me nostalgic. Maybe once we do have an actual announcement, well, an actual date for Silksong, I'm definitely going to go for one more replay here on the channel. Hollow Knight, and boop. And there we go. That's what I like to see. You know what? I think you're right. I shouldn't be complaining about the update. I didn't see it as complaining. I can definitely see why you would want to know something new about the game. And for most games I can clearly understand, because a lot of the time you're worried, is the game still in development and stuff like that when it comes to a lot of companies. But I don't really have that worry when it comes to Team Cherry, just because they have such a strong artistic vision. They don't care about the money, they care about making a great game. And that's what I really love about them. Oh. Did he deck me twice already? You know what, we're just going to Ancient Potion up. But yes, with Metroidvania, the exploration aspect is one of the most important parts. That's the one genre where I'm quite happy when they don't reveal too much. Because, I'll be honest, I am a curious person. And if there is information available on the internet pre-launch, I will consume that information. So, once a trailer or so is out, I will watch it. I will analyze it for every last little detail that there is. And I'm going to, and whatever there is, I will consume all the knowledge that I can. So by them not giving me the option to show weakness and ruining the mystery for themselves, I am actually able to preserve the mystery. It's a different thing with stuff like Monster Hunter. With Monster Hunter, I'm like, okay, show me all the new monsters that are going to come out in this game. Literally every last one of them. I don't need a mystery. You can show me the final boss if you wanna, and I'm still okay with it. But yeah, that's two very different games. I think with Monster Hunter, I don't care too much about the mystery, because I also know that I am going to grind all of these monsters for hundreds of hours on end. Whoop-pa-pa! I really want a new Castlevania game, like the OG Metroidvania game. That would be interesting, but considering that Konami is more interested in gambling than actual video games these days, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. It would be very interesting to see a modern take on Castlevania though, I can definitely see that. I mean, we did get a modern take on on Super Metroid with Metroid Dread. Did you play Metroid Dread? I played Metroid Dread. Honestly, I wasn't really impressed with Metroid Dread. It had a solid core, but it was way too short for a 60-buck game in my opinion. And length is not everything, don't get me wrong. Length is definitely not everything when it comes to a video game. But in terms of quality, Metroid Dread fell short as well. For such a short game, they had way too many boss fights that they managed to repeat. It was a game that managed to be very linear for a Metroidvania, but also way too sprawling at the same time. What do I mean by that? With Metroid Dread, you had pretty much one specific track you had to go through the entire game for. Like, there's not much exploration that you can actually do in Metroid Dread. For the most part, this game wants to guide you along a very specific route and nothing else. Oh god. Should I heal up first? Yeah, I should probably heal up first. I don't think that I have much time there anyway. I love Dread, but it's too short, yeah. My main complaints about Dread are how linear it is, that it is too short, and that even though it is so short, it is actually repeating quite a lot of content. If those three things were not the case, then I would probably appreciate Dread a lot more than I do right now. Hey, Fulgur! How you doing? But yeah, that's just my opinion. I know that Metroid Dread, most people did enjoy Dread a lot, but I'm 100... Oh god, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. There we go. But I do also know for a fact that I'm not standing on alone with my opinion about Dread. There are a couple of reviewers that I watched that thought the same things, like Video Game Donkey, for example. If you can really consider Video Game Donkey to be a reviewer, I guess. I guess he's more of a comedian, but he does have a and he does give a kind of review as well whenever he goes about a game. I don't know, I think the problem that I have with Metroid Dread is I'm playing a lot of Metroidvanias. It is one of my favorite genres out there after stuff like creature collectors and action games. Honey, the doorbell rang.
Doorbell, not the doorbell.
And I think the thing is, I was kind of curious what a big AAA company was going to do with the Metroidvania genre, because it's been a while since we had a AAA company do anything in the Metroidvania genre. Most Metroidvanias that come out these days are indie games, but in my honest opinions, those indie games left the Nintendo in the dust. What was my first Metroidvania game? That's a good question. I think it might have been Ori and the Will of the Wisps. No, Ori and the Blind Forest, I mean. It was either Ori or Hollow Knight. I'd never played Castlevania or Super Metroid when I was a child, so Metroid Dread was actually the first Super Metroid game that I ever played on my own. I didn't have a NES when I was growing up. My family, the first console that my family had was a PlayStation 1 that they bought for my big sister. And on the PlayStation there were not really any Metroid games. Or Castlevania games for that matter. Those were more of a NES and SNES kind of game line. Oh, you are still duking it out. Are you? Okay, you are limping, finally. Took you long enough to start limping there, friendo. We should really try to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I did hear a lot of good things about Symphony of the Night. It's like one of the best old school, if not the best old school Metroid game. And am definitely curious about it. Maybe I will see if I can get an emulator working for that. That would be a very interesting experience. I think we're starting with wall bang. Yeah, let's wall bang, yeah. There we go. And into the wall you go. And are you dying with the wall bang? No, I need to bash your face in first. And then we will be good. But yeah, you have given me an idea of something that I might be streaming once I get into a little bit more of a game lull. And I think we are getting towards the game lull right now. Because there are not all that many things on the horizon before the big holiday winter rush. No! Oh, okay, that's okay.
People came home.
The people came home. I will wrap it up after with this barrier hunt then. Huh? Very fair. Oh, careful now. We are not failing this barrier hunt this close to finish line. Best Castlevania game, but the same as the game that killed the franchise. Mind explaining how this killed the franchise? Because I honestly don't know. And if it is the best, then I'm kind of... then I do have a little bit of a hard time understanding how it could have possibly killed the franchise. Thank you. Because shouldn't the best game kind of, I don't know, make the franchise a mainstay? Because after Symphony of the Night, Konami tried to capture the magic of it again, but they never succeeded. Ah, okay. That kind of streamlined the formula, but it never really worked out anymore. Okay, and heal up again. Okay, yeah, that's always a problem. Konami is really struggling. I mean, is Konami struggling these days? I guess Konami is struggling when it comes to video games, but they don't really care about video games anymore anyway. And there we go. There's also some barrel of material back there.
Let's find those two and complete our mission.
There we go, and ooh, we've dropped a lot of barrier material towards the end. There we go, and there we go. But yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. It's always, I think it's a little bit of a similar situation to Steven Spielberg and his one falling star. Because when he filmed, I think it was Jaws, there was a falling star he captured on film by accident, by absolute accident. But ever since then he tried to recapture that magic by editing fake falling stars into a lot of his movies. But it just doesn't work that way. The fact that you know that the first one was just captured by accident made it so special. That's where the magic came from. It's like every Castlevania that came from after Symphony of the Night will always get compared with it. Yeah, very fair. I mean, these days all Metroidvanias are going to go up against Hollow Knight. That's the game that they're compared to these days. And there are a lot of Kickstarters for Hollow Knight inspired Metroidvanias these days. Like, honestly, there are enough Metroidvanias inspired by Hollow Knight that people are starting to call them Hollow Knight-likes, like Soul Knight, or maybe Hollow-likes.
During our search, we noticed a barrier.
Because it's a very specific style of Metroidvania these days.
Thanks to you.
And considering that the original franchises are pretty much dead at this point, why not rebrand a little?
Ship was covered in gashes from an attack.
One I am especially looking forward to is Crowfall. In case you haven't seen Crowfall, it looks very Hollow Knight-like, but with a plague doctor, and everything they've shown in trailers so far looks amazing. It also crushed it Kickstarter because people, because someone posted like, oh my god, look at this Hollow Knight clone, and the people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, it reminds me of Hollow Knight, but it looks amazing! And that thing got over $500,000 of Kickstarter funding.
Known for that sort of thing.
So then...
Okay, that looks promising. I will look up if I can emulate Symphony of the Night. That would be cool. It would be very interesting to go back to the roots of the Metroidvania genre. Hoppa!
What's happening?
And there she is. The flagship that's gonna get overshadowed by the last flagship within its own game. I do like Velkana's design. My girlfriend really loves her design because cool ice dragon. But there's always that thing about those Western dragon-shaped monsters that they just feel a little bland to me. Don't get me wrong, she's cool. Malzeno is also pretty cool, but as long as the Elder Dragon has the basic Western dragon body archetype, it will always feel a little less original than all the other monsters
Everyone
around
thought
it.
it was just a mere myth.
Oh shit, it's still VM. Because get caught up by chatting with you. Hey, I appreciate a good chat, but if it helps, I am going to wrap it up now, so you can go to bed and have a good night's rest. Yes, do that. Then, I'm glad that you were able to drop in, even though I probably murdered your sleeping schedule, and I will hopefully see you around on one of those weekends where you don't have to stay up until after midnight to hang out. Gonna wake up at 7 AM. Oh, then to bed with you, Eka. But thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.
Please be careful.
Ah, such a romantic, heartfelt moment. I care so much about all these persons shown here in this cutscene. Bye! Oh god, for a moment I was really worried we might fuck up the barrier hunt. I think that the monsters are a lot more tanky right now, so I don't know how many more streams it will take me to actually finish Master Rank. That would be interesting. I mean, after we finish Master Rank, there will be a lot of Guiding Lands grind. Part of which will happen on stream, part of which will happen off stream. But we'll see about that. If it's weekday streams, I'll probably take like, I would say, roughly 3 more streams to get through all of Icebound. If it's weekend streams, I should be able to get it done within 1 or 2 streams. We'll see about that. I'm in no rush. I still have 1 more week before Ooblets launches, and even if Ooblets launches, since this is an old game, I can just come back to it basically whenever. That's the good thing about playing old games. Honestly, I do kind of think I should probably focus more on old games, because in a sense I do have less... what's the English term for it? Less competition when I just play old interesting games that I'm curious about. Because with new games it's always a little bit of a gold rush on Twitch, and everybody wants to play the new hotness because it is the new hotness. Oh.
There's been a bit of alarming news from the hinterlands.
But old games just have less competitions, and some people will probably be like, hey, I haven't heard of that game in a while, and just wander in here. And there's something beautiful about that.
I'll let the 5th take it from here.
Thank you, sir. You see, recently we've been discovering monsters in the Hoarfrost Reach that have been completely frozen. And we finally identified the culprit. An elder dragon by the looks of it. This elder dragon was last seen flying across the sea, roughly in the direction of where we are now. It's likely already here in the New World.
So, there you have it. I think it would be best if we started looking into precautionary measures.
I see.
Thanks to our trusty tracker's meticulous observations, we think we've correctly identified the monster from among our records.
I don't know. Do any of you really care about the dialogue here? Because I try not to interrupt it, but it's like, it's Monster Hunter dialogue. It's not going to be all that important, right?
Explorers that ventured deep into the bleakest, coldest extremes in the world.
When they don't voice act it, I just skip through it most of the time, but if there's voice acting, I feel like, okay, it's important enough for that Capcom hired voice actors for this part, so maybe I should pay attention.
Say it could freeze other creatures with the merest breath or flap of its wings. We'd always assumed these reports were exaggerated.
Why would you assume that? Like, literally, there are creatures in this world that create cataclysms just by walking around, aka Alatreon, who is a well-established black dragon, so something that can freeze everything around itself does not feel all that exaggerated.
If an elder dragon this powerful has awoken, then it's all but proof of some drastic change in the environment.
I agree, Commander. If I'm not mistaken, we can consider the Legiana crossing to be the clearest sign of that change.
You're suggesting that the Legiana have led us to the cause of all this, then? Yes, that's plausible. But first, we need to find this thing. I want the field team to split up and search each region for any unusual signs.
Yes, sir. We'll divide our resources and conduct a thorough investigation.
I trust you'll take care of threats from any unknown monsters you might find out there.
What's going to be the next monster on the list? Is it going to be Nagakuga or Fulgur Anjanath? I think it's one of the two.
Finally, provisions. We need to prepare for the worst. See to it that you secure as many emergency supplies as possible. That is all. Dismissed.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's take one last look. One last look at the new armor sets, the Barrier of Armor set, because I don't know the male Barrier of Armor set. In fact, I haven't taken a look at any of the new armor sets that I've unlocked over the last couple of hunts, so I think that's a good thing to do before we wrap up. So, what do you have there, my friend? What do you have? No, not weapons, I want to see the armor. And, oh my god, it's a lot of weapons, so... Okay, I think I prefer the female one. Although the male helmet's not bad, but I'm not too fond of the armor. It is quite similar to the female one, so I can't really complain too much, but it's definitely not my favorite armor set. The Clockwork armor set is just glorious. I love this armor set so much. Ooh, and especially with the hair. I do kind of love that there's a Clockwork helmet with your original hair and the special hair. Then, okay, the Radoban. Then with... Ooh, yes. Okay, so it basically looks the same as regular Paolumu. And there is the regular Paolumu. There we go. It's okay, basically what I expected. It kind of looks a little weird to be aged compared to the female one. Because the female one does have the lowest hoodie as well. But it doesn't really have the chin thing. I don't really know what's up with the chin thing here. And last but not least, we have Master Rank Anjanath. Ooh, honestly, I can work with that. Kind of a barbarian thing. We might actually turn this one into a nice layered armor at some point. Oh, and Karapuki Puki, of course. Okay. Kind of a shame that it does not have the same Bloodborne vibe as regular Puki Puki, but it's not looking bad. But I still think the Bloodborne vibe is what I would go for here. It's such a shame that you can't recolor the green parts of this armor. You could make such a good Bloodborne armor if it wasn't green. Ah well. Okay, so that's about it, and let's wrap it up for the day. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but during the week I only have time for roughly 3 hour stream, so I guess you're used to that by now, right? Okay, so thank you all for joining. Thank you. I appreciate it. A lot. Thank you for joining me on one more Iceborne stream. I will be back tomorrow. No idea with which game, but we'll find out. We will find out together. Until then, I wish you a nice rest of your evening, and I will see you around. Bye!